Wait. Whoops. Hi, everybody. I thought I was live this whole time. Welcome to the stream. I thought I was live 10 minutes ago, but there's a YouTube thing where I hit start streaming, but then have to hit start streaming on YouTube secondly, and I didn't do the second thing. I've been talking to nobody for 3 minutes now. So, hi, everybody. This is hilarious. Wake up, Rich Layton. Rich Layton is actually really hilarious. Yeah, guys, I thought I was live this whole time. So, that's hilarious. Here I am. How are you? Good to see you guys. And I've been breaking down. This is so... I was doing... The intro I did for this was so good. I was breaking down each player. I actually have like extra notes for the players today. I was doing so much stuff, and none of it actually happened on stream. Not a single piece of it happened on stream. Very frustrating. I checked my levels to make sure my sound was good. None of it happened on stream. So, hi, how are you? I'm Rich Slaton, caster for Clash Royale League, here with you for the Bren Chong Cup 2. We are in Day 7 of European Regional action. We are in Group C. 8 of our European Regional qualifiers have made their way through, 4 from Group A, 4 from Group B, and 4 more will join them today. And as you can see, one of those who will probably join is Ruben. I already spent so much time breaking down the rankings and like where everyone is and who has what chance and what the matches are today. So that's fun. That's fun. But I'll do a lot of this stuff again for you guys here. Ruben, of course, is 4-0, the Clash Royale League World Champion, the CRO Western Champion, the No Tilt League Special Edition Champion, the SLO Champion. I'll say champion when you say Ruben. Best in the world. Not really an argument about it right now, and he continues to be absolutely phenomenal. 4-0, undefeated. Right behind him, though, out of the Netherlands, Bobtherock, currently carrying the torch for his Dutch community after the departure of Surgical Goblin from competitive Clash Royale. So Bob, 3-0 at the moment. Bale up there in the mix as well. A lot of talent here. Dominik, I believe, is also up there in the top 4 at the moment. We'll be getting some. We'll be going back through those rankings one more time. If you want to follow along with those rankings, go ahead and use AppGrade, and there's the link in the chat there for AppGrade, and that way you can download. That link gives you either the iOS or the Google Play link for you to download. So go ahead with get AppGrade. You can follow along with all the schedules, all the matches, all the results. All of it is right there in that app at your fingertips, at your thumb tips, for you to go ahead and play with a little bit. So let's see. In Espanol, there you go. If you guys do want to watch it in Spanish, there's the link. The link should be coming in. Why is that button not working? There we go. There's your Spanish link if you do want to go ahead and check it out on Espanol over on Twitch. On YouTube, though, no Spanish. On YouTube, it's just English. It's just me. There might actually be Italian on YouTube, so if you speak Spanish and you're like, Italian's easier than English, I guess? Maybe? I don't really... I mean, I know it's not the same. I know. But I'm just saying, if you want to listen to Italian instead, maybe it's French, actually, which that might be even more difficult. But there is one more language usually here on YouTube, but there you go. Hello, says Brighton. Brighton will be appearing, I believe, in the NA region. Is that correct? No Twitch stream today. No, I am only on YouTube now. I don't want to risk things with the way that Restream, I was going to both YouTube and Twitch, but Restream failed the other day, and I'm like, nope, we're just going right to YouTube. YouTube exclusive for this event for the moment. So we'll see if I go back to both, but for now, we are straight up just here on YouTube for you guys for this event. And we should be starting here in about 1 minute with our first match of the day. Let me tell you what that first match is going to be. Man, I had so much really fun stuff planned. And now I got, let me go ahead live now, but let me send you some as we go. There we go. I am trying to gather some info from some of the players to give you guys a little bit more insight here and there, but it's going to be a fun one today, guys. Of course, we're going to get to watch Ruben play 3 more matches, and that's always a joy. Bobtherock, though, playing very, very well, and Dominik has a really good shot. And let me go ahead and give you guys the current standings, as they are not up on screen. Ruben, currently, as I said before, 4-0. No surprises there. Right behind him, Bobtherock at 3-0 in terms of matches. Dominik at 2-2, so currently in the top 4, currently in 3rd place. If he can continue winning from this position, it'll be great for him, but he does play Ruben and Bob today. He plays the 2 top-ranked players, top-rated players in the division. At the moment, though, we're going to go ahead with our, at the moment, 4th-ranked player in Bale, who will be facing off against Yusuf, and Yusuf has yet to find a match win here. So a loss against Bale right now would mean that he's all the way out of this event. And Piggies get through Ice Wiz and Goblin Cage, most likely going to be Electro Giant out of Yusuf. We'll see if that's the direction that he's going with. Ruben is the best player as of right now. In my opinion, said Justin Mayfield. I think you're probably right. And you know what? People can say whatever they want to say. Now I've had Eric Benamou on the stream. I've had Crap on the stream. I've had some people on the stream and who have probably some very valid opinions. And when I asked who's the best player in the world, they didn't hesitate. They didn't go, oh, maybe it's Ruben, maybe it's maybe it's Morton, maybe it's Moogie. They said Ruben. I didn't even finish the question before those guys said Ruben. So we'll be seeing the consensus #1 in the world today at least 3 times. Well, actually precisely 3 times. In 3 separate matches. He is currently 4-0, 3 more to play. So Electro Spirit set up in the back for Bale. Man, I'm so annoyed. I had the stream ready 10 minutes beforehand, and I had it streaming to YouTube, and then didn't press the go live button on YouTube, and thought the stream was already up. I was talking to myself for 3 or 4 minutes, and the stream wasn't actually live. Super, super annoyed with that, but oh well. Fenway Fellas, hey Rich, for live events in Austin, it's a qualifier, can you just come watch live? I'm going to be doing more social, more fun live events once we have those here in Austin. So they're not going to be big formal qualifier type things. They're going to be community stuff where it's more about everyone coming out, playing some Clash Royale, and hanging out together. We will be seeing them. Triple Witch is genuinely insane, says Slow Mo Pro. We'll see. I haven't seen anyone play it yet in this environment. 3-3 split here with the 6-man for Bale. Recruits pretty much right now in just Balloon and Royal Hogs. And Bale again sends 3 over 2, or 2 and 1. A lot of dual lane pressure here. That Zappy should go down though, and it does not target onto the balloon. Zappy stays up as the Baby Dragon turns towards the Goblin Cage. So strong defense here. Electro Spirit helps out a lot for Bale, but the Cage Zappy's combination makes it very difficult for these balloons to ever get through. We'll see what the chances are of him actually making that happen at any point through this matchup. It's been a difficult one for Yusuf thus far, as mentioned before. 8.3K player, certainly capable on ladder, but as we've all learned, competitive and ladder, not quite the same thing. And it's Lumberloon for Yusuf, which is interesting. After you see those first couple of cards, you really thought we were going to be going in the Electro Giant direction. Final 90 seconds remaining, and just a little bit of cycle here for Bale to get things finished off. Log, Fireball, GG, well played. Big smile from Bale, and he continues to be very, very dominant. Now let's see, we're going to stay on the screen for a moment, because I think that we're getting stats support. So I'm not going to jump over to my screen quite yet, and we'll see if we actually are getting stats flown in here, or if we aren't doing that. Well, in a minute. Yusuf, one of the small number of Italians in the tournament. And right now, might be about to lower the number of Italians by 1 if he cannot come back against Bale in our next game. And there you go. We do have post-game stat support. Nice on this one. And that matchup data, I don't entirely trust it. I guess the freeze does make things a little bit more balanced, but just getting past those getting 2 and then getting past those zappies. So difficult for Yusuf ever to do in this matchup. Not going to be easy for him at any stage in this one. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat here for just a moment. Watch Pompeo pay the deck. That's my tip for Loon Freeze. Yeah, Loon Freeze, Pompeo's kind of the guy for sure. What's my favorite deck at the moment? I'm mostly playing Minor Wall Breakers, the Bats, Spears, Knight, that one. Fireball Log. That's what I'm playing the most. I'm not the best with that deck, and I don't know how high I can push with it. You know, usually in any given season I push to about 6K. I don't know if I can with that specific deck, though. But it's fun to play, and it's challenging, and it's engaging, right? There's a lot of decks that I can probably do better with that I just don't enjoy as much. So I'm playing Minor Wall Breakers a whole bunch right now. It's been fun. Oh, yeah, he's liking the Austin the Austin FC shirt that has, it's a green logo, so it's keying out, which is kind of fun. You won't be seeing that one at all. Game number 2 should be here in a moment. Guys, this is, by the way, ban on first loss, the format for this event. Oh, I guess I switched too early. And now let's go. There we go. It is ban on first loss, meaning, as you can see now, Bale has not banned a card yet. If he loses game number 2, he'll have the option to ban. He has not been exercising it much, though. Youssef, though, does take the opportunity to ban and gets Giant Skeleton out of the way. Hog Rider to the right-hand side. Yusuf probably playing Hog EQ. Could be playing 2.6 because why not? Might be his feeling at this point. And Hog EQ it is. Have I ever played Bridge Spam? Son. Did I get the final result from Group A? Yes, that is, here's my, where's my, don't I have a Twitter link somewhere around here? Is that it? No, that's not it. Thought I had a button somewhere here for my Twitter, but I guess not. It is on my Twitter, the, whatchamacallit, the results. I reposted them. I don't want to get them here in case it's a spoiler to somebody. Pranav saying, hey, Rich, do you think anyone especially has just Ruben's number? I like a better player than Ruben, but just someone's style would counter Ruben. Javi has typically been the guy who Ruben can't seem to figure out. Of course, that's not the case anymore. But Javi is, if there's one guy who I think Javi, who Ruben can weirdly struggle against, it is Javi Catorce. Pigs to the left-hand side, right into the Hunter, but they will get quite a lot of damage. Log to mitigate some of that, but this puts a decent little elixir advantage. Yes, there's 4 on the board right now for Yusuf. 7 on the board for Yusuf, 5 in response from Bale. And this should be enough for Bale to mitigate that, and now Bale has a significant elixir advantage. I'm not all the way maxed yet, guys, but a lot of my cards are maxed. Maxed enough that I can play a lot of meta decks on ladder. 3-3 split here with the recruits for Bale. Hog Rider down up high. And not worried about fireballs, so he can just go ahead and put all that value in one. We probably should see, he might shield those off with a log for Yusuf, but we'll definitely see a bomb tower come down in the middle. There goes the log to the right-hand side. Staggers, delays the bomb tower here because of that flying machine coming in. Now bomb tower should come out for the piggies, and there it goes. Good prediction, fireball out from Bale. And that's going to be a nice chunk on the right-hand side. Bale now does take the lead back and takes it back by a lot as that flying machine goes wild. Hog wild, you might say. EQ on the right-hand side. Brawler and Electro Spirit will stop any hog hits. Final 15 seconds of regulation, and we are heading into sudden death overtime with a slight lead for Bale and a chance to take the match victory here in our opener. Bomb tower down in the middle, this time down a little bit earlier. Might as well declog these lanes rather than wait. Log cycle to the right-hand side, 1034 to 995. Things getting very close, and nice little lane switch here for Bale. One pig does escape. This flying machine is the real danger, though. That's why the Hunter comes out high with 80 seconds left. Look at those piggies still snacking on the right-hand side. I think there's a cage. Yes, cage is in cycle. This one is very tight, though. And as we go into triple elixir in just a moment here, that 830 becomes quite precarious here for Bale. Yusuf can certainly cycle fast. Doesn't want to make any defensive errors, but can definitely cycle fast, put a lot of damage on that right-hand tower. Zappy's down, right-hand side. Free log value there. This one's feeling better and better for Yusuf. Zappy's in the middle, though, and these Zappies might be a nuisance for Yusuf as we go into these final seconds. 30 seconds remaining, and look at that. Look at that lead right back to Bale with 561 left. There's the EQ cycle. It gets very, very in front of that Goblin Cage. But Brawler down. Here we go. Final 15 seconds approaching. And Bale now just loading up in this right-hand side. Who goes more for the actual attack on tower here? 317. That's not going to do it. Bale needs to start cycling and cycling fast. He's not going to be able to get this down in time. Log comes down on the opposite side. He throws the zappies down. Can't do it. That's a GG. Well played. Yusuf ties things up and sends us to game number 3. So Yusuf keeping his hopes alive for the moment. We'll see how long that lasts, of course. He is on the bubble the whole day today, pretty much, with already having 3 match losses. And there you go, taking a look at the data on this one. And small sample size, but it still feels like that's a pretty accurate evaluation there of the matchup data. It might not quite be 75-25, but it ain't that far off from there. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Take a look at the chat here for a minute as we wait for our game number 3 to come up. Someone asking if Ruben is so good at 1v1. Was there more ladder finishes? More ladder finishes that you know of is the first thing I would say. And secondly, Ruben focuses primarily on competitive and does pretty darn well with that. I mean, if you look, do we need to go through Ruben's Royale API and take a look at the damage he's done to so many different people over the years? Ruben's name is synonymous with championship. That's the big thing, right? And if you have a choice of like pushing ladder or having a major org pay you to bring championships, which way are you gonna go? But for Ruben in his career, here are the tournaments he's won number 1, right? 3-time Orange Cup winner, 2-time Moreno Cup winner, the Bren Chong Special Edition, Red Bull MEO Spain, Gamergy, Game June, the Mo Bishan. Number 1 finishes as a team player, right? Of course, No Tilt League Special Edition, CRL West, no CRL World Finals, but then RPL, SLO, PGL, the guy just continues to win. So, that's how we can say he's so good. But we're not talking about Ruben right now. Right now we're talking about Bale and Yusuf. And Bale, no guarantees yet for him to go through. He's 2-1 in match play. A loss here would make him 2-2. Nash Equalizer. How often do you beat Golem when you play minor wall breakers? Not that often, Nash. I BM Golem a lot. It depends on how bad of a Golem. Like, they're bad Golem players, which it's hard to be bad at Golem. But I don't know the actual numbers, but I'd say it's definitely Golem wins more than I do in that matchup. Rich, can we expect more co-casters with you during Bren Chong Cup? When they're available. Sometimes just me, sometimes with co-casters. Pranav saying, never understood what's so special about Hobby that made Ruben struggle. I actually don't know. I'd be curious to see more about what that dynamic is as well. That's a question more for the pros than it is for me, I think. Miner to the left-hand side, wall breakers behind for Yusuf. And this is what you do when your opponent goes RG behind King Tower during single elixir. Spears in response. So I run this exact same Minor Wall Breakers variant, except for I use Bats as opposed to Magic Archer. But Magic Archer is super fun. One of the more fun cards overall in the game, in my opinion, is Magic Archer. And that, look at that. Fisherman is the ultimate betrayer. That Fisherman pulls the Magic Archer across the river and gives the Magic Archer more damage onto that left-hand tower. Hisham, are the new CRL players still affiliated with teams or each man on his own? Yes, is the answer to that. Some are affiliated with teams, some are on their own, some have sponsorships. It's up to the player and whether the player can get a team or a sponsor to back them. Fireball to the right-hand side. And a second RG down here for Bale. And you can see the nod there. He's happy with the way that cycle worked out. 2 Fishermen behind his Royal Giant. And they're going to get that Knight right off, but that Royal Giant not going to do much here. This isn't an easy matchup for the RG, actually. Because of how much DPS Yusuf can put on the Royal Giant very quickly, his ability to get around really fast. It's actually not that hard for him to keep the Royal Giant off tower consistently. The Log and the Bomb Tower together have a lot of power here. Miner to the back. Fishboy pulls off. And look, see that Log? He's going to take one shot here because he got a little aggressive on offense. 2 shots here. And Yusuf doing the smart thing here and forcing Bale to spend as much as he possibly can on that left-hand lane. He needs to keep on doing that. He wants to force Bale to spend on this left-hand side. And look at how much elixir Bale did just spend on the left-hand side over the course of the last 15, 20 seconds. I do not love... I see why he's going to this side because he has the Knight in support. This actually might work out really, really well. Might work out really well to those wall breakers connect. No, the E-Wiz stops it. And now Bale does have both lanes for damage, as does Youssef. Final 50 seconds. Youssef going to go wall breakers on the left-hand side. I was about to see if he was going to go. Say if he's going to go wall breakers left. Does go wall breakers left. Magic Archer not going to get. Oh, we'll get 2 shots, I think, from that Hunter. There you go. 969 on the left-hand side, and now it's Bale going into that same weak side lane. Miner is trying to go to the Fisherman, it looks like. Royal Giant on the left not going to connect, but the one on the right will. Oh no, the one on the left does get a shot, but it's not going to be enough of a shot to really matter. Final 18 seconds here. Log Fireball to the right. Royal Giant not going to connect, though, because of that Log. And at the moment, it feels like Yusuf is totally in control. Bale knows it. Cannot get enough damage on the board in time, and that's going to be a GG well played. Yusuf stays alive just a little longer. Nice work for the Italian. Gets his first match win, and a well-fought one here against Bale. I think that the Wall Breakers deck in this one does have matchup, but not a huge matchup advantage. And here you go. Let's take a look. That is not the data from this one. That's the data from the previous one. There we go. So look at that. Almost 3,000 games played between these two decks, and that matchup pretty even with these two. Now, my guess is part of that is because the Minor Wall Breakers deck probably doesn't have it's the skill cap there. The low end of the skill cap is higher. We talked about this yesterday with AC, but still pretty good. Daniel, thanks for uploading. Rich, thanks for uploading the Asian groups. I love Cashman commentating too. Yeah, Cashman's great. Guys, if you want to watch the Asian and the Asia region and the LATAM region, those are happening live on the link that I just gave you there for Asia and LATAM. That's Cashman's channel. I'm also posting the replays of those on my channel right here. So whether you're watching NA and EU live right here, or you're watching Asia and LATAM on replay, that's all available right here on my channel. Subscribe to my channel right now to make sure you don't miss it. You can also go ahead and get that live on Cashman's channel. Link is in the chat, and link is also in the show notes as well. So go ahead and follow Cashman, who's been generous enough to share that with us here on the YouTube community. Is the Magic Archer version ever better, says Gaming with Balmo. I don't know. I like playing the Bats version. That's because I'm much more scared of course, of Balloon in that matchup. So here we go. Bobtherock up against Saab. And right now, SAB is at 1-2. And he has kind of a difficult journey today, and it starts here with the currently undefeated Bobtherock. And you can see the colors are similar on these flags, but not from the same country. Saab the Frenchman, Bobtherock from the Netherlands. And Saab thinks that all of his opponents are pretty difficult today. He has already faced Ruben, so doesn't have to go through Ruben again. But this is a pretty difficult one overall. This is a high-pressure situation for the Open Qualifier player, and I asked him how he handles the pressure. What does he do to try to prepare for something like this, one of the biggest events that he's been in so far? He listens to some music just to kind of get himself in the mood, and primarily to French rap and hip-hop. He didn't tell me specifically what artists, so I can't give you the info there, but that's what he does. Some French rap and hip-hop to get himself relaxed and ready for this high level of competition. And double bait here for the Frenchman. Has not played that yet. So far in this event, Saab played a lot of GY, a lot of Loon, and a lot of minor wall breakers. A little bit of Royal Giant. This is the first time playing double bait, so or any bait variant that's not minor wall breakers, if you consider that a bait variant. So a little change in rhythm today in this first matchup. Bob, of course, didn't have the greatest run in CRL, but so far in this tournament has been performing phenomenally. Right now, fighting from behind with this Mega Knight Graveyard deck. So far in this event, Bob remaining has he has remaining this matchup, then Nikola and Dominik. So he's gone through most of the most of the invited pros already, but his last match of the day is going to be Ruben, which is going to be a challenging one for sure. And the Mega Knight does leap to the tower. Dark Goblin not going to do much against a Mega Knight. Full-on bait push the opposite direction and goes inside. Look at this, the inside-outside. Nice little placement here by Saab. Not going to get much out of it, though. 1391 to 989. One big Mega Knight gets through, and that's a whole lot of trouble for the Frenchman. Sets up one more time in the back. Inferno Tower down early. Let's see how Saab chooses to defend that. And he does a pretty good job there with the Knight out in front. Dark Goblin and Log working on the Graveyard, but still falling behind. Dark Goblin will go down to that poison. And this time goes with the full surround for the Goblin Barrel, and the Ewis has to go up front. No direct counter. So I'm a little confused about the inside Goblin Barrel that Saab threw earlier because he's not facing against a Log or a Barb Barrel. Might as well go with the surround pretty much every single time here. And goes to the back. Hunter eats that alive. Needs to set up his Inferno Tower here. Decides to set it up on the outside. Bob with a lot going right downhill. Fireball to clean up some of that. Log behind as well. Good work here to play defense against this Mega Knight Graveyard push, but Bob still takes a pretty big lead here as those skeletons keep on finding tower. 238 to 714. This should be he goes inside here away from the Mega Knight with the Fireball. Reading the Ewis wouldn't be ready. Poison down with Graveyard. The Goblin surround. Fireball in, and by 79 HP, Saab takes the win. What a great finish there in game number 1. That was a fun one to watch. We'll go ahead and take a look at the matchup here in just a moment. But way to stay in it and fight from behind in the later portion of the game. It really felt like he was in a lot of trouble as we reached the final 45 seconds or so. Fenway Fellow is asking, when does No Tilt start? Is it still team-based? I don't know what No Tilt League is going to be, but No Tilt Worlds will be starting fairly soon, and that is, of course, international squads. So great game there by Saab in that one, who, of course, is still in the mix. Actually, everyone is in the mix at this point. No one's been eliminated yet, especially with the performance that we just saw by our current last-place player, who's still staying alive for the moment in this overall competition. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat here for a minute. Let's see. Did you know Yusuf's picture is actually another player's silhouette? It was the same with Oyasu using Javi's silhouette. Yeah, that's totally surprising. Guys, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and ring the bell for notifications. Make sure you never miss a moment of the Bren Chong Cup 2 and lots of events like this throughout the year happening right here on youtube.com/RichSlaton, the most fun place for Clash Royale esports. Let's see what else we got going on here. I know I haven't been on chat for a minute, trying to handle a lot of things, especially when you're casting all by your lonesome. Let's see. What happened to King's Cup? I don't know. Was there anything else important here in the chat? Nothing. Nothing yet. Let's see. Who is best in the world, Ruben? Pretty easy. Marco Morales. I speak Spanish, but I like to see Rich. Thank you, Marco. I do really appreciate that. Oh, you know, I just realized I did not turn off the sound on my Slack notifications. Let me go ahead and kill those here. Mute all sounds from Slack, so you guys aren't getting my notification sounds popping through here over and over again. There we go. Rich, are you going to cast No Tilt Worlds? Not sure yet. We'll see what happens. But quite possibly. I haven't spoken to the No Tilt people yet. It depends on schedule-wise, how it works out. But I should hit them up and see what's going on. Everything all right, everyone? Well, production asked me a question. We'll see what happens. Miss Andrew with you. Andrew and I'll be back together very soon. Because there's this thing called CRL. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Andrew and I do that together a whole bunch. Is Poland in No Tilt? I don't know, probably. I think No Tilt's much bigger this year than it was last year. Mugi, best player in the world. Strong disagree. Ruben's the best. Mugi could become the best, but strong disagree. We'll see if he takes the crown from him, though. If he takes that title off him. Let's see. You have 4176 trophies there, Max Rabbit. Nice. I think I hit 5.2 today. Probably have to switch off of minor wall breakers, though, to push 6K this season. Speaking of minor wall breakers, looks like that's the direction that Saab's going here in game number 2. And we'll see if Bob is going back to some more Royal Giant in this one. No clue yet. What's the worst legendary guard in the game, in your opinion? I don't really know. I never thought of it that way. So looking like a 6-loon variant here from Bob. And this would be an interesting minor wall breakers version from Saab with the Valkyrie. We'll see if that's the direction he's going in. The balloon goes to the right-hand side, bomb tower down. Hunter and Spears should be helpful against these loons. Oh, and he misses the fireball. Oh, what a waste. What a huge, huge waste. And this is going to be a little chop, chop, chop from the Lumberjack, and you got to call GG there. Yeah, oh boy. Oh boy. You can't miss a fireball like that. You cannot miss a fireball like that. Not only does that mean that you wasted 4 elixir and you didn't stop the balloon, but also it meant that he had to spend the Spear Goblins in a way he didn't want to, and that opened up the cycle for the Lumberjack. I mean, that's just... You can't win the big money with moves like that. But plenty of time to get that fixed. Inferno Dragon to the left-hand side. Spears in response high. 3-3 split here for the recruits. Best 2v2 duo, in my opinion, says Tom Lamb, who's a student, keep on studying their butt, is Morton and Sam. I think there's no real argument there. Oh, he's going to Valk because Knight's banned. Yeah. Good point. I just don't know. Either way, whether Knight's banned or not, there are other minor wall breaker variations that don't run Valk. Or that don't run Knight. And that recruit will finish off the right-hand tower. Bob takes a pretty easy game number 2 win after the big-time error from his opponent. We're going to game number 3. We'll see what Saab chooses to ban this time around. Maybe Balloon after that went down. Let's go ahead and take a look at the matchup data here in just a moment. Lucas and Wallace were also a very good combo. Yeah, the run that when they were playing that top-level 2v2 for a minute, sure. Really, really excellent during that time, but you talk about longevity and skill, there's nothing like Sam and Morton and 2v2. Sam and Morton, I think they will go down in history as the greatest 2v2 duo. Now, I think that there's one other player who could be arguably the greatest 2v2 player of all time, and it's going to be hard to make that argument just because he didn't play in the 2020 year, but Faye. I think Faye has a really strong argument of being the best 2v2 player of all time. He just ended his career a little bit early, so it's going to be hard to say that, but I think there's a lot of teams that should have offered Faye a lot of money not to leave. And they might have seen some more success in 2v2 and in CRL overall in 2020 if they'd made that payment. Because that guy at 2v2, S tier, absolute S tier player at 2v2. C argument 2v2 and Clan Wars CRL. The pros complain about it. No, actually, pros loved 2v2. Hisham. If you ask most Clash Royale pros, especially CRL pros in particular, 2v2 was the most balanced and most skilled version of Clash Royale. It just never caught on with the viewing public the same way, and the primary reason is because the viewing public never had it as more than just like a fun game mode. They never really had a way to get into it themselves. So it never really translated. How high are you at trophies? Right now I'm at like 5.2. I'm going to look to push 6 again this season, but I might have to switch decks though, because I don't know if I can do it with minor wall breakers. We'll see. Delta MK saying, I wish Jay Monty were still around. His contributions in 1v1, 2v2, and especially Team Spear are super underrated. Yeah, Jay Monty, longtime favorite of mine, for sure. Thoughts on Pompeo's deck? He's good at it. Yeah, Mance Raider saying, I wouldn't watch CRL live just so I could skip over 2v2. I don't blame you for that in the first season of CRL. CRL, EU, NA, LATAM that season. But by midway through the spring season of CRL 2019, 2v2 became amazing, and by the end of it, I think I would rather cast if there were 2v2 with these players at this level, I'd rather cast that than 1v1, to be honest. 2v2 is a better game, just was never as popular of a game. When you keep an eye on 2v2 and watch the moves that a good 2v2 duo play together, like there was one that Lucas and Wallace pulled off in 2v2, and look at this Royal Giant shredding the left-hand tower. Ooh boy. Absolute punishment here by Bob. And he's going to eat that Spear Goblin damage and keep this massive elixir lead as well. G to the G here. Sets up that Giant Skeleton left-hand side very nicely. Wall breakers to the right. And gives up the elixir advantage by spending a -2 trade. Kind of what you had to do there, though. When you back to what I was talking about, there was, you watch good 2v2, like top tier 2v2, and you'd see things like when Wallace and Lucas combined for a King Tower activation, where one threw the log, the other threw the Ice Golem, like the way that they pulled off moves as a team. If you watch 2v2 just as 16 cards being played on each side, I can see why you wouldn't get into it. But if you were paying attention to who was playing what cards and seeing the stuff they were doing from a coordinated teamwork perspective, 2v2 was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. RGGS to the left-hand side. Very healthy Giant Skeleton. Let's see if that Fisherman does its job here. Royal Giant not going to connect, though, so despite having a pretty solid early lead, Bobtherock now in a bit of trouble. 705 to 977. That lead has begun to dwindle. That's a really solid Hunter played by Bob there. Gets the spears out of the way. That Hunter is going to town for Bob. That Hunter just won him the game. GG, well played. That Hunter was absolutely phenomenal from Bob, and that won him the game. Nice work there from the Dutchman. I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to send Bob some questions at this point to get a little more insight from Bob. I'm going to ask him if you guys have questions for these guys, feel free to send them my way, and I can DM them some of these questions. Let's see, Rich, for you, who's the GOAT? It's a hard question. think we still have to wait for a while to really make that argument, right? There's all these GOAT debates that happen in Clash Royale, but keep in mind, we're only coming up on 5 years of the game, right? So it's actually kind of hard to make a GOAT argument in that short window. I think that people have had runs, right? So I think there's a strong argument for Surgical Goblin because of what he did in 2017, and then winning CRL West and CRL Worlds in 2019. I think there's a really strong argument for Surgical Goblin there. Morton's in the conversation, but I don't think that you can, because of him not winning the championships, other than the Western Championship in the fall of 2019, I think that kind of takes him out of the GOAT conversation. I think Ruben is the best in the world right now and has a very good shot at becoming, by the time he retires, being the greatest of all time. I think that's a really strong argument there. I think the one person you have to also put in the conversation out of the East is Elsiop. Elsiop's just a champion. He's a winner, winner, winner. And guys, here we go. On to Ruben and Dominik for our next one. So here we go. Let's go ahead and watch the guy that most pros say is the #1 in the world. And Dominik is, I asked him a little bit about this matchup, and how he feels about going up against Ruben today. And he said he's very confident because he trains a lot in the last few days, and he's a friend of Ruben, so it should be fun. His game plan against the world champion is to outpick Ruben. Dominik is known as a Lava Hound player, so his goal here is to predict the decks that they're going to play against him. So you're looking at this bait variant, this Prince bait, for Dominik, and I wonder what he was thinking would be coming from Ruben as a counter to Lava Hound. We'll see if that pays off. That's a lot of pressure on the left-hand side. He was up high, Fireball has to be spent down low, and Dominik's happy to force out that Fireball on defense whenever he can. He'd much rather have that Fireball be played defensively by Ruben than played offensively. It's both an O, not an ooh. I mean, there's three O's there. Dominik, right? Because if you have double O, that's the ooh sound. But, you know, take it as you will. Top 3 most handsome pros, Remy asks. Ooh, that's a tough one. I guess that's more of a personal preference question, right? Depending on who you find to be the most handsome pro. Here we go, Royal Giant to the right-hand side. Royal goes behind. Hunter working on that one. And the Ewiz does come down low and goes for a little bit of a tricky barrel there. Ruben reads that easily. You're not really going to... I don't think you're going to fool him with that, especially in early games, in the early part. In Triple Elixir, if things get complicated, that's when maybe you can pull that off. But even then, getting it off against Ruben is going to be very, very difficult to do. Barrel goes to the left-hand side. Outside barrel. Log takes care of business, though. Inside-outside does not work as well against Log as it does against Barb Barrel because of the difference in width. And Ruben, I mean, this is a very popular overall construction that Ruben's running, but we've seen how good he is with this deck. In CRL, Ruben was beating legitimate hard counters with this deck. Log easily back in cycle, so the German not finding a way past the defense here, not out-cycling that Log. And he is running a fairly heavy bait variation with 2 5 elixir cards in the deck. Double O in German is an U, though. Okay. And here comes the rocket cycle from Dom. There's 3 O's. I'm going to sometimes call him Dominik, sometimes Dominik, because it's fun. So take it as you will. I worked very hard on Schwatzen yesterday, so I think I've earned my ability to enjoy my pronunciations how I like them. Royal Giant gets a bunch of shots on the left-hand side here, and with that E-Wiz, and Dom calling good game here. That Royal Giant E-Wiz together just really difficult to stop, and you give up that much damage playing bait against RG. GG, well played. GG, well played. Ruben absolutely crushed it in that one. No surprises here. Ruben does currently have the top win rate overall in this event. Coming in today, already had it, and looking to add to that on top of it. So we should be seeing some stats here in just a moment. We'll fly those in as soon as they get loaded, and there you go. So only, that says an 83-17 matchup, but the sample size is only 29 games. So hard to really make that evaluation on only 29 games. You're doing well with German names anyway. Thank you very much. Schwatzen. Right? I've been working on that one. Will I feel confident enough to bust that out during the official CRL broadcast? I don't know. But for you guys here, I'll keep on doing it. I speak Portuguese, but I watch Rich because I like it and because I'm trying to learn English. How would you put subtitles on the lives? There's like the auto subtitle thing, but it's not super accurate. I don't know if it works for live. Never tried that before. Rich, if you play Clash Royale, can you tell me your amount of trophies? If I play Clash Royale, you think that I'm the commentator for CRL for coming on 4 years and I don't play Clash Royale? My personal best is 63-23, and right now I'm at like 52 something. And I think I'm gonna try to push up to 6K this season, but I'm playing minor wall breakers, and I don't think I'm good enough to do it with that deck. So we'll see. What's the hardest archetype you've tried to play? Probably minor wall breakers, to be honest. Let's see. Sam McAnish. Rich, I made it to the stream. Did the tournament just start? I'm gonna grab my popcorn. I'll be here a little bit. Ma'am Bibi Vizeh? Iriner, I don't... Ma'im... What if Bibi... I'm working on that one. Hello, do you speak Romanian? Nope. Miner goes in right to that princess, and Ruben says, hey, you want to play bait? I'll show you how to play bait. So Dominik goes... This is so funny. Doom said he was trying to be less predictable by not going lava. He goes lava in game number 2 when he's down 1. And Ruben goes double bait. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm not 6K right now. Hopefully I'll be 6K into the season. I don't have as much time to push ladder these days as I used to because I'm so crazy busy. Is Expo viable anymore? Depends on how good you are. I think that's the answer to any question, right? Can you read this if you speak French? Je ne parle pas français very well. Arrows and Zap together for Doom. Dominik. Skelly drags out the bridge, take care of the princess fairly quickly, but Ruben puts so much pressure on you with this deck. No log, has to wait on the arrows or the zap. Look at all the damage that comes in. Oh boy. Oh boy, GG. Tower down. And now we'll see what Ruben's defense plan is here. It's a rocket. It's a rocket. All right. All right. Well, Dom told me before the match today that he was going to try to be less predictable and try to counter the counter. And then he goes to comfort in game number 2 when he's down, which is the more predictable move, and Ruben just punishes him for it. Absolutely punishes him for it. So, you know, I don't know if Dom was trying to throw me off with my interview question or if he just got nervous in this moment and kind of lost focus and went Lava Hound, but as you can see, easy 2-0, and Ruben just throwing the rocket to nowhere there at the end. GG, well played. Insane dominance from the #1 player in the world. The answer is any deck is viable if you're good enough. Depends on what you mean by viable, though. Right? That's the big question. What do you mean by viable? And hold on, let's take a look at the stats view here for a moment. And yeah, Ruben going double bait with Hunter and Rocket. I mean, this is what Doom was talking about. He was going to go away from the predictable deck choice and try to outpick, and this is the exact opposite path that he went for there. So, kind of a rough one there. Rich, who's your favorite player? It's an interesting question. What's a hard counter to RG? Good question. I don't know. Like, P.E.K.K.A. Barbs, Inferno Dragon, Inferno Tower, Barb Hut. Can you show Ruben's stats? You guys can go ahead and check out Upgrade to follow along with all the stats with this one. Man, that was just absolutely dominant. Absolutely dominant here for this one. Let's see. For schedule results, there you go. When is Group D playing? Group D is tomorrow, Chris Morello, and all your info is right below you in the chat, where it says for schedule and results. But Group D is tomorrow. That's when we wrap that up. Ruben not only won the actual game, but the mind game as well. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Man, he's just... There's some people who... Every once in a while, someone does something, and they do something at a different level, right? Whether you're talking about Dave Chappelle doing comedy, LeBron James playing basketball, or you talk about... Honestly, you talk about Ruben playing Clash Royale. There are some guys who just do it at a different level than everybody else. And it's super, super fun to watch. I enjoy the heck out of it. So we'll see what our next... Let me take a look at what our next matchup is going to be. We are still in our first round of the day, or we are now in round 5 of 7 rounds through this round robin. That was Ruben versus Dom, Bale, and Soking. Battle of Spaniards coming up next. The old guard and the new guard, as you might say. I'm asking for the link to my Discord server. Yeah, I don't use my Discord server a ton, but here you go. 1 second. Give me just one moment. I'll give you my Discord server that, again, other people are more active on my Discord server than I am, but here you go. Let me throw you an invite. There's the invite to my Discord server. There's the link. You can go ahead and jump on there. I'm not particularly active about it. Let me go ahead and take a look at something. Oh, Soking. So as you guys might know, Spain has been having a bunch of blizzards and has had a bunch of power outages, internet failures, things like that. Soking currently is having some struggles with his tech at his house. So we're going to move to other matches while he's unable to play. And if he gets those fixed, then we'll have his matches on. So for now, it's not going to be Bale and Soking. It's going to be Bobtherock versus Nikola here in just a couple of minutes. So once we have that one up, we'll go ahead and show it. As soon as we have our next matchup in just a couple of moments. Ruben is the Messi of Clash Royale. Yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it. Awesome watching someone who can dominate other pros. Crazy to be another level above pros. Yeah, that's actually one of the fun things. You know, if you're in the U.S., you're familiar with, or you're used to watching college sports, whereas not really much of a phenomenon outside of the United States of America. But one of the things I love about college sports, right, is I think it gives you a better understanding of how good some of these athletes are. Because you see, for example, in college football or college basketball, you see some athlete play against people who are also elite athletes, but they're not pro level, right? You see guys like you saw Kevin Durant of the NBA, formerly of the Golden State Warriors. You saw Kevin Durant play basketball in college and saw what a high-level collegiate athlete, a guy who's getting an education because he's good enough at sports. You saw what that guy looked like against Kevin Durant. And that's, when you see a pro play against a pro, you don't necessarily get a total feeling for their skill level. When you see a pro play against a really, really excellent player who would not be able to hit that pro level, that's when you really understand the gap between how good they are and how good everybody else is. So Bob versus Nick in this one. Nikola's been playing competitive Clash Royale since 2017 and is really trying to invest in himself for this game as much as possible this time around for this 2021 year. He's run most of his regional events in the Balkans, both as an individual and team player. But he's really working hard to have a breakout year this time out for CRL. And of course, a good performance here would be a nice start for that on his part. So far, of course, we're seeing this interesting minor EQ deck out of Nick. So far, we've seen a bit of everything from him. A lot of Royal Giant, but some Royal Hog, some Electro Giant, some Balloon. He really has been playing a little bit of everything up to this point. Here goes Bob. Prince in with Graveyard. We've been seeing a little bit of a Prince revival, and that Prince is going to go real deep. Am I going to connection? Miner has to come out. Oh my, what a push from Bob here. Nikola being forced to spend everything on defense and still take a ton of damage just like that. Bob back in the league. And there we go. Hey, Christopher, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I wish that bit didn't hold up the way that it does, but it certainly seems like that bit will hold up for a long time. Unfortunately, you might say. There's some good jokes inside that are more timeless anyway, though. Here we go. Graveyard poison push on the right-hand side. The Prince is such a menace here. Bob setting up Zappies in the back, and that was a great, great pair of Zappies. Got way ahead of Nikola. And now in comes the Dark Prince and the Barb Barrel. Graveyard poison on the tower. Snowball making enough room for a couple more skeletons to get through, and that's going to be it. There you go. GG. Well played. Bob takes game number 1 with the Graveyard Double Prince. Nicely, nicely played by Bobtherock there. We'll have the post-game stats here in just a minute. And Nikola comes into the day, let me go ahead and tell you what he came into the day at. Comes into the day at 1-3 in match play, and so definitely needs to continue to win out to stay relevant in this one. Let's see, take a look at some of the chat here. Surely some of them are sponsored for their games, so technically they earn money from the game. Yeah, I guess, pro... I guess there's some debate as to the term pro here in the chat, right? And that's one of those terms that gets thrown around, I think, quite liberally in Clash Royale. That's a good way to put it. It maybe gets a little bit overused, but there's kind of a nebulous term. I kind of draw the line at pro at being, are you making enough money to, essentially live off it to a certain degree? Right? Doesn't mean that's not a shade on people who haven't gotten to that point. It's such a hard term to define. But let's say that you're an elite golfer, but and you make a little money at some local tournaments, but you never made it onto the PGA Tour. Are you a pro? Right? So that's kind of a hard one. Pranav, okay, Rich, 30 seconds, name your favorite player from each region to win this tournament. Me. Cool. I'm winning all 4 regions. Easy King Tower activation here, and Nikola calling the good game. Man, that Goblin Brawler early turns into a King Tower activation often. People need to protect that. They need to protect that lead a little bit more. Protect that Goblin Brawler a bit more. Mance Raider. Kids who are great at the game, top ladder, but don't get paid are not pro. They are darn good amateurs. I think that's a good way to put it there, Mance. Or semi-pro, right? For some of them. So Pigs could still have some viability here, but Bowler plus Valk makes this very difficult. And Bob with a good chance to go 5-0. Ruben's already qualified at 5-0. Bob could be number 2 at 5-0. And that's actually good news for guys at the bottom of the table, in fact. Oddly enough, if Ruben and Bob both go, they can't both go 7-0, right? At most, one can go 7-0, one goes 6-1, but if they keep performing like this, that actually opens up a room for a 3 and 4 player to squeak on through here. Bowler to the left-hand side. Manson, I've never gone well with the term semi-pro. It's like having a light switch be semi-on. It's a binary thing. I disagree. There's a lot of players, I know a lot of players who are semi-pro in lots of sports, where that's their secondary income. I know a lot of people for example, in Ultimate Frisbee, who there are a few players who are full-time pros, and a lot of players who are semi-pros. Right? They're being paid to play on the team, but they have a regular day job. Semi-pro soccer's been around for a long time. And here we go, 15-13 to 1685. Semi-pro's been around. I mean, I knew when I was a kid, my friend's dad was a semi-pro soccer player. It was his secondary income. And that was like the actual term that was used. $11.08 to 1685. This flying machine needs to be dealt with here by Bob, and it is. It used to be called minor leagues. Is that a bad phrase nowadays? Well, minor leagues is a specific term talking about baseball, right? Like no one calls the D League in the NBA the minor leagues, or the ABA the minor leagues, right? Pigs on the left-hand side. Bowler out of cycle. NATO pulls all that back, but that was a good play there by Bob to prevent most of the damage and continue to support this push on the right-hand side. Decided to prevent rather than stop, and still give himself some viability on the right. And look at that, nice Valk there by Bob to get in front of those pigs. Nice Valk there by Bob. Really well played. Really, really well played. He did that with the Zappies in game number 1 against the Minor. He's done that here with the Valk in game number 2. Being just a little predictable maybe. Here's Nick. And now Icewiz Valk again here to work on the left-hand side. Fireball tries to pull that away. Graveyard into the right-hand lane here. Bar Barrel to the left-hand side. Freeze comes in. Skeletons should be enough here, and they will. Bob takes it in 2 and is now 5-0 in match play, guarantees himself a spot in the regional final. Man, Bob and Ruben right now just running away with this division. This group completely dominated by these two players. Very, very nice work. Oh, you know what? We actually do have the post-game stats here as well. I have to remember that we're starting to put those in. And so that's the previous game here, right? That was there we go. And here we go. Going Graveyard again is Bob. And getting some good results from it, of course. Nikola going for the Royal Hogs, Royal Recruits, the Royal deck. Doesn't get the value out of it. And here we go. Well, let's put it this way, guys, right? Talk about pro versus semi-pro. I was a professional entertainer for 10 years, but that was a cobbled-together income from commentary in the mixed martial arts world and from comedy and from screenwriting, all those different things together. But, you know, it's an interesting question about, like, how that would define, you know, was I a pro in any of those things specifically? Or was I just a professional entertainer overall by cobbling it together? Kind of a hard way to define it. So here we go, Yusuf versus Saab. Yusuf staying alive for the moment. Entered the day 0-3, now 1-3. Again, both of these guys kind of on the bubble here. This might be a loser leaves town match, but not quite, just because of how dominant Bob and Ruben have been, maybe opening up a spot in the middle. We'll see. Wall breakers to the right-hand side here for Yusuf. And, wow. So 2 matches in a row where Saab has misplayed a spell drastically to devastating results. The Fireball last game, and now the NATO this game. And, you know, talked before about how you control your nerves here. So far, it seems like that's not worked out very well for the Frenchman. Giant Skeleton sets up to the left-hand lane, but is this going to be too little too late now? Balloon to the left-hand side here for Saab, who has gone to this well a couple of times. It looks like Yusuf likes this variant now that he's played it. Pretty hefty one. A lot of splash here. And I know that Magic Archer doesn't technically splash, but that piercing does feel like it is to a certain degree. And Miner just going to town on the right-hand side. Magic Archer sets up on the back on the left-hand lane. After having kind of a rough day one, Yusuf is having a pretty good day two so far. We'll see how long he can maintain that. Bomb tower does come down in time with the Magic Archer and Spears supporting as well. And a good Valk out of Yusuf. 831 to 1763. And for those of you just joining, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stick around and watch for a little while. If you are just coming here from inside of the Clash Royale app. This is the $40,000 Bren Chong Cup 2. One of the biggest tournaments outside of official Clash Royale promotion. Oh, look at that. That balloon's going to get on through. Oh, my word. Wall breakers connect on the opposite end, and Yusuf holds on by a hair. GG, well played. Nearly gave that one up at the end, but able to hold on and keep the win. Nice work there for Yusuf, who's trying not to go out early. Definitely does not want to go out easy here. Who moved on yesterday, says Salty Slim Cracker. You know what? Let me look at who moved on yesterday. I'm trying to remember who moved on in our tournament yesterday in that group. I believe it was... you know what? I actually don't remember now. I'm looking at the players, and I don't actually remember who it was. But that's on Twitter. You can go to Revel's Twitter, and you can find it there, and get all your information about who has moved on and who hasn't. Let's see. The problem is most top players are good in one or two decks. No experience proper tournaments. Won't have a chance. Yeah, I mean that's one of the interesting things about this next season is seeing how long it takes the pros the players who have one-tricked a deck on ladder to expand their viability and be able to be competitive enough in multiple decks that they can succeed in the dual format, which is the format we're going to be using in CRL this year. Hog the ban from Saab in this one. Yusuf up 1. So far in this tournament, Yusuf has played a lot of Hog Princess. Hog Princess Mini P.E.K.K.A. Rocket. Or Hog EQ. I mean, this is a smart ban from Saab because Yusuf goes to a ton of Hog. Known for playing Hog Princess Mini P.E.K.K.A. So forcing him out of that comfort zone. Smart here by the Frenchman. Jason, Clash CWA is not in one of these groups. He's not a pro player. He doesn't play competitive. He's a content creator. A very good content creator who has really excellent stuff on his channel but does not compete. A Lena Naylor play. Thanks for joining. Coming here from inside the Clash Royale app. Hope you stick around for a while and enjoy some of the action. Players playing for their piece of a $40,000 prize pool. The top 4 players at the end of today move on to the European Regional Finals, where the prize pool for the European Regional Finals is $1,000 to first place, $500 for second, and $250 for third. And the people who, from the European Regional Finals, the top players from each of those regions will move on to the World Finals, where the grand prize is $15,000, which is pretty crazy. Graveyard Poison in on the left-hand side here for Saab. And Balloon goes opposite lane from the Lumberjack. Lumberjack is so deceptive. You look at that play right there on the left, and it felt like Lumberjack should have just gotten the one shot. Does get 2 shots instead. Final 25 seconds of regulation, and defensive freeze there to take care of that baby dragon and the rest of it. And now we'll see how Saab sets up here in the left-hand lane. When are the NA groups playing? Are they being cast? Yes, the NA groups start next week, Justin, and they'll be right here on this exact same channel with me, Rich Slaton, and maybe some special guests as commentators as time goes on. We had Akrap on yesterday. Try to get some more special guests in here and there. But yes, EU and NA are both live here on my channel. The Asia and LATAM regions, Asia happening right now, LATAM next week, happening on Cashman's channel on Twitch. And the replays of those will be available here on my channel as well. Ranged up balloon with the freeze. We'll get some, nice NATO there out of Saab to prevent that from connecting. Pretty good matchup for Saab overall, and I'm wondering here if after he banned the Hog, if he had a pretty good read that balloon would be the choice out of Yusuf. Because playing the Bomb Tower Ice Wiz NATO, pretty solid here. I think he waits to freeze until after the NATO. Yeah, but still within Princess Tower range. Yep, he waited to freeze until after the NATO, but the Princess Tower on the opposite side was still in range, so balloon goes down. Here we go. Final 50 seconds, triple elixir time, poison in. And Yusuf just still eating a ton of damage. This is his last opportunity, his last chance push right here. He either gets the tower down here or it's GG. And it might still be GG if he, let's see, poison in. There's no way he beats that out. GG, well played. We're going to game number 3. Good deck pick. Good ban and deck pick out of Saab. And guys, bans in these ones are ban on first loss for this event. So now Yusuf does have the option to give a global ban if he wishes to. We'll see if he does choose to exercise that or not. And we should get some, give us a moment here and we'll see there's the matchup data. And small sample size, but pretty accurate though in my opinion. Ice Wiz NATO Bomb Tower, very easy to control that balloon, even with the freeze, maybe even because of the freeze. And then the GY opposite direction, no great defensive options for Yusuf. So solid pick, solid double pick there out of Saab. That's an important part of competitive play. Of course, there aren't bans in CRL this upcoming year because we're using dual mode, which naturally eliminates cards from competition as you move forward through the matchup. So no bans in CRL this year. Let's go take a look at the chat here on YouTube for the moment. NA starts January 18th. Yes, that's when NA starts for Bren Chong, and we'll be right here again. So make sure you look in the chat, subscribe. Right? Did the thing come in? Did it come in? Come on, chat. Come on, chat thing, work. Everything's been a little bit weirdly slow today. There we go. Subscribe to the chat as it now has popped in. Make sure you do that and come be a part of all the action as we go through the rest of EU and NA into our regional finals. And, of course, in mid-February, that's when we'll have our overall grand final, the world final, where the top players from all 4 regions will compete for the major chunk of that $40,000 prize. Well, let's go ahead and jump into game number 3 between Yusuf and Saab. Let's see. Christopher Tyne saying, need the God RF on so he can tell us what the RF stands for. He's never told. I think there's only like 1 or 2 people who know what the RF stands for. I'm wondering if now that he's retired, if maybe he will share that at some point. Poison to the right-hand side. Wall breakers behind the Magic Archer. Spear Goblins behind the Valk to the right-hand lane, and the Valk does aggro the Baby Dragon. Keeping the Spears on the board just a little bit longer. That worked out very well for Yusuf. Gets a lot of bang for his buck in that one. Mahalinda saying, I think CRL should have stayed with the team format. If they want to organize solo tournaments, can organize ones like this or no-tilt world championship. Team format is good. Yes, but that's not the only factor involved in making decisions like that. I think there are benefits to both formats, but while there are some positives to the team format and having organizations involved, there were some drawbacks as well. So we'll see what CRL looks like going forward, but I'm optimistic this is going to be a really cool year with a lot of really, really great opportunities for a wide variety of players. Delta saying, why is Saad depicted as French when he's on the Algerian squad for No-Tilt Worlds? Because, I don't know the exact answer to this one, but I do know that a lot of different teams, much like the Olympics, you can, for international competition, you can play for countries that are not your native country, right? So Saab might, I believe he lives in France, but he might be of Algerian descent, and so he plays for Algeria internationally. That's very possible. But much like how some players in international competition for other sports do not play for their country of origin, they play for country of descent. Same thing here. Mega Knight to the left-hand lane. Yusuf going to do something there to protect. And I understand the desire to bring that game to the middle. I don't know how I feel about giving the Mega Knight that leap, though, right? It's a 50-50 prospect. Do you stick the tanky troop right on the Mega Knight so you don't give him a free leap, but you sacrifice position, or do you establish position but give up that extra damage onto the defending troop? Hard question, hard call there. Good Valk control on the Baby Dragon once more from Yusuf. I believe Algeria does speak French, too, if I remember correctly. Isn't it a former French colony? I could be wrong there. Graveyard in with a pile of tanks, and this should be an easy win here for Saab, and it is. That's a GG. Well played. Saab, after losing game number 1, made a really excellent pick in game number 2 with his ban and deck pick. Pretty much a complete combination for a snipe on Youssef in game number 2, and then comes out with the big one in game number 3. GG, well played, and that's doesn't guarantee that Youssef is out, but puts him in makes it very difficult for him to be able to remain in this tournament beyond this point. And you can see also another pretty positive matchup here for Saab. Difficult for those wall breakers to get on tower. You got to be pretty solid here in the early going to win this matchup. Didn't get enough of an advantage early on, and we found ourselves at the end with a nice win here for the French-Algerian, as that's how you want to put it. Would you consider Major Ebarb got a pro Clash Royale player? Are they earning a living playing Clash Royale? Are they, pro? Again, the definition of the term pro. Let's be a little bit more tight with that definition. Rich doesn't mean that RF won't compete in these tournaments if he retired from competitive play. I believe so, yeah. I believe RF is not playing competitively at all anymore. So, you say snipe, I think Anaban snipe. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. That's probably the most likely, the most common association with those things. Coming up next, one heck of a game. I'm really excited for it. You saw it on the screen a minute ago, and I'm really pumped for this one. Bale and Ruben coming up in our next one. And let me go ahead and just check my records from CRL West this season, because I believe, yes, Bale and Ruben did meet during CRL West, and it was Team Queso falling in the 2v2 to Flash and Cody Go. Then IMJP sweeping Dignitas in the King of the Hill, and then Ruben 2-0ing Bale in the final best of 3 1v1. Here's the current standings. As you can see them, 5-0 for both Ruben and Bobtherock. They will be the final match of the day to decide who is number 1. Oh, why'd you take this? Leave it on there, please, for the love of God. I can see it longer. Hi. All right, Elio. I don't know how to take that, so, all right. Let's see. Saab's deck picks were very, very, very good. Yeah, he was really, really, really fire. He was really firing this. Here we go. Let's go back and get the standings one more time. So you can see a lot of weight up there at the top. And look at the bottom here. Bale and Dom both. Bale at 2 and 2. Dom at 2 and 3. Sob at 2 and 3. No one's officially out yet. No one's officially out yet because they've all pretty much just been manhandled by Ruben and Bob. So a lot of these players still I think pretty much everyone is still in the running for the moment. We'll see how many players do end up in the positive win rate. Bale right now has Ruben, which is going to be a tough one to win here. Not saying that Bale can't do it, but anybody beating Ruben in a BO3 is not easy. Certainly not easy at all, and we've seen that throughout all of 2020 for sure. And before, if you pay attention to Ruben before we got to this stage in competitive Clash. Let's go ahead, jump on into it. Bale, bottom of your screen, Ruben at the top. Let me go ahead and take care of something really quick. So here we go. Royal Giant for Ruben. No big surprises here. Royal Hogs. Oh no, Royal Hogs for Ruben. And Royal Giant for Bale. The gameplay is reversed from the overlay, guys, just as a quick note. So it is actually Ruben on the bottom, Bale on the top. I just miss hearing Rich and Andrew say Max Lemonas. It's from a long time ago. And the sides are accidentally switched, guys. That must have been just something that happened in the production booth. Hopefully they fix that for game number 2. And Ruben with a little bit of a kite there with the piggies. And so far, Ruben handling these Giant Skeletons, Royal Giant pushes fairly well. This should be one shot, maybe 2 here. Yeah, 2 do get away. 11:04 to the left-hand side. Bale with the lead at the moment. We'll see how much of a factor the EQ of Bale plays as we get later into this one. And Ruben getting really aggressive with this Earthquake. Does have 2 troops on the board plus the tower with that, so goes ahead, decides, and put a lot on that offensive push. He might pay for it here, though. Cage does come out, but that bomb's going to blow up a lot of that defense. Log to push things back, and there you go. Royal Giant going to get 3. Oh, only 2 there. Very close in the final 20 seconds. Rhythm-wise, it's Ruben's tower to take right now, and Bale choosing to forget the defense and just play offense right here. Probably the right call. 3 HP on the left-hand side. That log going to not make it, so EQ has to come out, and we're going to sudden death overtime. Man. Oh, boy. That could have ended tragically for one of these 2. Cornelia saying, you have the chillest streams. In a good way? When we get into the finals, things like that, that's when we'll get a little bit more hype on there. And of course, when if there's big moments, but in general, just kind of digging it. I'm also doing 3 hours a day of this, so I'm not trying to blow my voice out. And we're only in the first group, early in the first region. 14:05 to 23:90. This feels like a lot of trouble here for Ruben, especially with Zappies and and Giant Skeleton on the board. And that Barbarian going to add to the trouble. And the Giant Skeleton is just absolutely brutalizing Ruben right now. Absolutely brutalizing Ruben. It gets in so deep. And then whatever, Ruben has to spend so much to play defense, and it all just sits there and gets kaboomed. Piggy's in the pocket with the Skeleton Dragons. EQ down to work on the Zappies as well. Ruben now trying to go in real aggressive. He should log all this. Yes, he will. And that one Zappy stays behind the giant skeleton. Not what Ruben wanted. Works out very nicely for Bale. Final 28 seconds here. 8:33 remaining on the right-hand tower, and Ruben just going pressure. And that's the right move here. He cannot let off, cannot try to play one really good defense and get one big offensive push. He just has to go hard here over and over again. Does have to stop this Royal Giant. Don't know if he can, though. The cage high has to go pigs in the pocket right now. You see the Fisherman there to play some defense. That Royal Giant should get one shot, and it doesn't. But the EQ on defense out of Bale to hold the piggies off the tower. GG, well played. Bale takes the first game off of Ruben here. Very nicely played. I think that this format will benefit Bale. Not this format in terms of the Bren Chong Cup, but the new format of CRL being a solo performance. I think Bale has one of those guys who has a good chance for a breakout year. Well, Frank V, in terms of deck variants, that's why I'm really excited about dual mode. I'm really excited to see what duels do for overall deck variants in this tournament. And well played for Bale. So Bale does have the game advantage, match point right now for Bale against the Countryman. Yeah, it is inverted for the moment. People play chess their whole lives with the same deck every time, so to speak. Yeah, actually, hold on, guys. Mrs. Slaton, I didn't even. She pays attention. She's always been a great gift giver. I'm a mediocre gift giver. But Mrs. Slaton came through super clutch. And check out this handmade custom chessboard she ordered from Tunisia for me. She saw that I've been playing a bunch of chess, and so she ordered this one for me as a gift. Yeah, super duper cool. I don't know if you can like marry your wife again, but I'd do that if I could. Has little wooden pieces in there, too. Psych. Rich, were you an extrovert in school? Yes, sir. Have been pretty extroverted my whole life. You know what? I'm going to allow this despite the BUTT there. Tomer, Carson, I should begin that tournament. I'd kick major to easy. I'm a grandmaster at that game. All right, Tomer, guess what? This game had open. This match had open qualifiers. So pay attention to when the open qualifiers come, because you could have qualified for this. Also, CRL 2021 is totally open to anybody. So, Tomer, Kars, if you believe you're this good, there's a $1.6 million prize pool this year that's available for everybody. All you have to do is make top 1,000 ladder and you're in CRL. So, Tomer, prove it. Put your money where your mouth is and go win your piece of $1.6 million. First time seeing Cannon Cart Graveyard today. And nice balloon connection there for Ruben. You can renew vows. Yeah, but that's not... I'm not renewing vows. Get out of here. You can't do CRL if you're underage. 16 is the minimum age. All the rules for CRL 2021 are right there in the link that I posted in chat. And now we are the proper top to bottom, and Ruben going balloon. Ruben, in competitive play over the last few months, has primarily played Royal Giant, Balloon, and Minor Wallbreakers. Those are the three that he's known for the most. And right now, way ahead on Bale. I don't know why Ruben didn't activate there. Ruben has to know that King Tower activation. He played the Skeletons. Why don't you activate King Tower there? That's kind of a surprise. That's kind of a shocker. You're up against Graveyard. Why would you not play the Skeletons in the activation spot? Very interesting. Tomer saying you have to buy in to play in the tournament. No, there's no buy-ins are actually against Supercell terms of service. Every event in Clash Royale, if anyone ever tries to make you pay to play in a Clash Royale event, to act like for the actual competition itself, they are violating the Supercell terms of service. Giant Skeleton Bats playing defense against the Graveyard. Graveyard doing a lot of damage now. The lead of Ruben being chipped away heavily. And a little extra shot from the Hunter on top of that. So it was a significant lead for Ruben. Now Bale's right back in it. Miner goes to the back here. The balloon does turn, but look at those bats. Will those bats be enough for the balloon to get away? No, they will not. But that Miner going hard on the back right now. And those Spear Goblins trying to stop it, but look at that, 552. Good snowball high from the Spaniard against his fellow Spaniard. Triple Elixir just about to hit. And this giant skeleton in front of the balloon is exactly what Ruben wants. Still can't get the penetration he wants, and now it's Bale's turn to fire back in the opposite direction. Cannon cart high, working on the Fisherman. Giant Skeleton does not get down in time for the protection. Miner goes to the outside. Spears go way inside. Hunter to play defense here for Bale. 3:12 remaining. Balloon coming in. And that was pretty much the only place that Miner was going to go, so smart call on the Spear Goblins behind from Bale. Still a lot of damage in. Graveyard down, Bats playing defense. Fireball can't take care of the Bats. This should be... Oh, that's a nice pickup there from Bale. That's a nice pickup there from Bale with 15 seconds left. He can get one more Graveyard push in. Graveyard and Fireball. Fireball comes in. Graveyard on tower. Miner going the opposite direction. 137-24, and Ruben wins it. Bale knows how close that was. We're going to game number 3. Tomer saying, how do I join the tournament? You can't join this tournament because this tournament's already closed. We already had the open qualifiers, but CRL, 1.6 million, there's all the information right there. If you believe that you are excellent at Clash Royale and you're as good as these players, there are no excuses in 2021. Go ahead, get into the top 1,000 on ladder, enter CRL, win a pile of cash. There's also a ton of open tournaments like this one that have open qualifiers. Information is available either in the game or also on a bunch of Twitter accounts as well. So GG's. Here we go. Game number 3 coming up in pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, my voice, man, my throat's getting tired. What's the password? Haha. What was I? Oh, yes. If you do want to learn the King Tower activation, let's see. Simon was asking. I think you can't activate King with Skeletons against Mortar anymore. Rich, yes, you can, Simon. I just did a video on it maybe a couple of weeks ago. You most certainly can because I just play tested it. And let me go ahead and grab the video for you guys. Where is the video on that? I'll go ahead and throw that video in the chat here in just a second. Where is it? Where are you? All my most recent stuff is all whatchamacallit. Let's see, copy link. There you go. Here is the how you activate King versus Mortar. There you go. You can do it with Spear Goblins, or you can do it with Skeletons. I think you can even do it with Stab Goblins too. But yes, that move is still very doable, and it's not that hard to do. Rich Hikaru collab when, right? That'd be a come up for me. Hikaru lately has been getting more numbers than Ninja, because Ninja's playing Valorant, and people aren't watching that as much. And someone asked earlier if I play speed chess. Yeah, I typically play either 10 minutes for time control or 5 minutes. I'm much better at 10 than 5. I've been playing 3-2 a lot lately, though, and that's pretty fun. I'm not a great chess player. I'm really kind of just learning. I mean, I know how to play the game in general, but I've never really learned strategy, openings, anything like that, like the actual principles of it. A little lag here. Let's see if that's... I'm going to check in. Oh, there we go. Andy, really enjoy your videos and live commentary. Thanks, Andy. Really appreciate you coming to be a part of it. Fenway Fells, need to find a clan of approximately 30-years-olds so schedules align to practice. I'm an ancient. Yeah, dude, I know the feeling. But yeah, Hikaru is my favorite YouTuber for favorite YouTuber streamer for chess for sure. Oh, we might be getting into sunglasses territory here in a minute too. That's a possibility. We're getting pretty close to it's time for the Sunnies. Tied up 1-1, Bands are Fisherman and Royal Giant. Andrew Stevens, Rich, how did you learn to talk so clear without stumbling? It just seems like live streaming could be a bit nerve-wracking. Public speaking has never made me nervous. I've been public speaking my entire life since I was really young. I mean, since like elementary school, junior high. I've never had any real concern for public speaking. Was a competitive debater in high school, was in plays in elementary school and junior high and stuff like that. Started stand-up comedy in 2008. So 10, 12 years of, I mean, really 10 years of doing it really doing it like all the time, like, you know, multiple, like 3 to 5 nights a week. And then, you know, haven't done as much lately, obviously this year in particular. Broadcasting for over a decade now. I've never been concerned about public speaking. There's an old quote / joke. I think that Robin Williams might have done it on one of his specials. But there was a poll that said the number one fear that most of the people list is public speaking. Number 2 is death. So most people would rather be in the coffin than giving the eulogy. I always enjoyed that one. Oh yeah, that mortar connection. You can see the reaction from Bale there. Not happy about that mortar connection. And Ruben with 2 cannon carts down plus the mortar. It's just been all over him. Graveyard in. Hunter low, spears high for Bale, but can't do much to stop it. And there just really hasn't been any real fight here at the bridge out of Bale. All right, that's the big thing, is that Ruben has completely commanded the middle third of the board. And I really wish I was able to do a like a telestrator on my OBS. Someone needs to come up with the app for that, so I could use my mic to draw on the screen here. My mouse, I mean. That would be the most OP thing for OBS, if you could draw on the screen. But that middle third, right, the area that's about 4 tiles deep in each direction from the 5 tiles deep in each direction from the bridge, from the river. That's the important part in a game like this one. And Bale just didn't win a single fight there. Ruben controlled that area completely the entire way through. Anas Salih saying, Rich, do you prefer writing down what you'll say before you talk or just winging it? Depends on what I'm doing. For these things, I don't write any of the stuff down. I'm just talking to you guys. For CRL, like when I do CRL, I don't really write anything down. I mean, I have notes on the players for reference when I do CRL broadcasts. The only thing that I ever sort of pre-think about when I do CRL in terms of what I'm going to say is when I do the intros for World Finals. Right, when it finally comes in, when World Finals, after the big open video happens, and then that first big shot of the crowd that comes down to the desk eventually for the, you know, for whether it was Tokyo or whether it was LA or whether the one we did this year, that opening for World Finals, I always think about that one and maybe and practice it a few times and figure out exactly how I want to do it. That one I always put some effort into beforehand. And even like the general intros, I usually kind of think for a minute or two beforehand, like, okay, what are the 2 or 3 sentences I want to say here to set the stage for the day? But other than the opening the opening of the broadcast, I don't write down what I say. For stand-up, you know, you write down. There's a couple different ways for writing for stand-up. Whether you're writing, sometimes I go on stage just with this bullet points of ideas I want to talk about and kind of riff my way through. Often, what I'll do is if you know, maybe I'll write one joke on a topic and kind of talk my way into the topic, hit the joke, riff a bit, see if I can find some other jokes just, you know, by happenstance, by riffing, and then make my way out to it. So sometimes when if I'm working out material for stand-up, I'll have like 4 different topics with one joke each, but then really be loose when I'm working out material. You know, loose, goof off a bit, hit the joke, see if I can tag it up with some other lines. If not, get out, go on to the next thing, etc., lather, rinse, repeat. When I'm doing like a real paid show for stand-up, then unless like I'm headlining and I can do more crowd work, because you don't really do crowd work a bunch if you're not the headline for the show. All that, like, it's pre-written material, but it's more pre-written because you've worked it out so many times, right? You've done the same. I've done that same. By the time that you see stand-up on TV, that comic has done that bit like usually 100, 150 times. So here we go, Bob versus Dom, and Dom just getting real aggressive early on because Bob goes P.E.K.K.A behind King Tower. And I guess Bob just not caring as much because he is already qualified. What a weird... Let's see what this is. I mean, it's P.E.K.K.A GY Balloon. And he's not really... I mean, I guess Balloon will connect here. Do I still do stand-up on a regular basis as Death Adder? Certainly not in 2020 this year. You know, once things open up again a bit, I'll probably do some more. Once I started doing CRL, I started doing less and less stand-up. You know, I'm good at stand-up, but it never paid anywhere near as well as the esports. This is Mohamed Parsa. I always forget this is Mohamed Parsa. I don't know why you open P.E.K.K.A behind King Tower as the first move of the day, but all right. Again, I need to make a list of all these one-tricker decks. I've seen this Mohamed Parsa deck dozens of times, and I just never remembered that it's his. But yeah, I don't do as much stand-up these days, and I've done less and less as I've gotten deeper and deeper into esports and producing and casting and all that stuff. But, oh, here we go. This could be tower down left-hand side and the balloon to the right-hand side. Oh, my word. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. And that, oh, I can't believe that. I thought that was going to connect there. The zap takes the skellies off, but boom, look at that. Clarence C. Davis, one of my favorite comedians, Sinbad. Sinbad's really nice. There are some people who are just, a whole different level of superstar. And, they say never meet your heroes. I've always loved Sinbad. And when I met him at the Comedy Store, he was one of the nicest guys I've met. Really, really cool. And now a healthy P.E.K.K.A, Dark Prince, and EU is on one side. Balloon and Graveyard to the other. And that P.E.K.K.A still tanking for the Graveyard. The Mohamed Parsa deck comes from behind. Oh my word. Dom probably thought he had it all wrapped up when it was the P.E.K.K.A behind King Tower to open up. Mohamed Parsa is not Mohamed Light. No, they are two different people. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, Ruben 6-0, just waiting on Bob will be the only guy who has a chance to beat him. Now we'll see if Ruben goes 7-0 or if Bob takes him down. Here's the matchup there. I guess people are playing the Mohamed Parsa deck more these days. Let's see what other weird one-trick decks Bob pulls out for the rest of the day. That was certainly fun. Mance Raider referencing old school Billy Crystal on Comic Relief. That's funny. That's really funny. Let's see. Yeah, weird matchup for sure there. P.E.K.K.A was a misplay. Was that P.E.K.K.A I think he meant to throw the P.E.K.K.A behind King Tower, but is what it is. Judah Freeliner, some brilliant stand-up, lots of crowd work. Yeah, there's some pretty good crowd work guys out there. My favorites, Stanhope, older Rogan, CK, Chappelle, Rock, Big J, Ari, Kurt Metzger. His special White Precious is one of the best I've ever seen. Burr, obviously. Patrice. Oh my gosh. Patrice O'Neal. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's go ahead and jump into this one. And Dominik banning Mirror. What is happening here? And oh, Bernie Mac's set from the Live at the Apollo, the I'm Not Scared of You. One of the best all time. Oh, Tom Segura's funny. I like Segura's first special better than his later stuff. All right, well, Bob going with more fun one-tricker stuff. Carlin's great, CR. But he's one of those guys, like Carlin and Hicks are both guys who you like more for the ideas than how much you actually laugh, for me. And Hog to the right-hand side as the lava goes to the left-hand side. And Graham, I think that Patrice would have found that stuff to be like really dumb, actually, in the long run. But you know, that's just from knowing everybody who knew him. Patrice, I never met Patrice, but from everybody that I know, I think he would have found that stuff to be like kind of silly, to be honest. So Denisito Pro deck here for Bob. And Dom with Lava Miner Night Witch. Zigzag, thanks. That's one of my favorite pieces. That's why it's the only one that's up right now on my YouTube. I have other stuff that's just not up right now. I have an old album of mine that I never released, that I meant to release in 2020 and then never did. I don't know if I'll ever release it now. I'm debating. Lava Hound to the right-hand side. Flying Machine behind. Baby Dragon in support. Miner going right to that. Oh, look at that. The Skarmy to protect the Wizard. But the Miner Fireball takes care of that pretty easily. And this should be a pretty clear win here for Dom. What makes Patrice so great? A truly independent Theker for Patrice. Had takes that no one else was doing. Oh, look at that. The Hog Rider sneaks on by behind the giant skeleton. This Hog Rider could get towered down. I don't know if there's any way that Bob really plays enough defense here. That's the only problem. We are going to sudden death overtime, which is more than expected in that moment, but this is going to be a GG either way. Good move there by Bob. Doesn't get it done. Yeah, Grant, those guys worship him, but they get him wrong. Just like a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of people who like Rage Against the Machine who, like, they say they like Rage Against the Machine, but disagree with all of their politics. But what made Patrice great, I mean, the big thing is takes. Like, Patrice O'Neal had takes on stuff that not only would no one else ever think of, but no one else could ever pull off. He had a great way of making what... He was great at crowd work, but also great at making really well-thought-out bits look like crowd work and feel like they were just in the moment. Have I watched Fahim? Yeah. CR, I know Fahim from the Comedy Store. I've known Fahim for years. Fahim has some pretty funny stuff that you probably haven't seen, actually. But yeah, I know Fahim pretty well. Let's see. Old school Eddie Murphy, sure. Yeah, Norm is really smart. Norm's a brilliant guy, that's for sure. He has some of his SNL news desk stuff, some of my favorite stuff out there. Is RF retired? Yes. That's the story on RF. So let's look at what we have coming up next in this one. Let me go ahead and bring up the schedule here so I can take a look at it. So we have one more game for Bob and Dom. And then after that, we'll see if we have Soking back. Let's find out. I'm going to check with production to see if Soking is back yet. Oh, you know, it might. You know what? It's actually. I think you know what it's time for. I think it's time for the freshness. You guys have never seen these ones. But here we go. Oh, you know what? This is why I never wear these ones on stream, is because these ones key out. I forgot about it. Oh, they're yellow. You know, I'll have to show them to you guys. I'll have to show some to you guys without the green screen on. Darn! So game number 3. And Bob looking like he's going a little more meta this time. I think Dom is going Golem here, potentially. Hecka, all right. Never mind. Man, I think that Jim's funnier, like on a base level than those two. But yeah, I put him in the same sort of category as Carlin and Hicks. Where like Jim Jeffries, Carlin, and Hicks are all good like modern day philosophers. Maybe I'll leave these ones on, even though they are keying out. That's actually kind of fun. Why not? And a little grr here from Bob after eating that damage. Yeah, Jim Jeffries is really funny, though. But a lot of the bits he's gotten famous for are more like political rants than they are like his funniest bits. But Jim's funny. Also a very nice guy. I never met Carlin or Hicks, though. Pekka set up in the back here for Doom, who's decided to also go with Mohamed Parsadek. RG to the left-hand lane. And that's a lot of damage by Bob in the left. That's a lot of damage here. Interesting Mortar RG deck out of Bobtherock. Is this someone else's one-trick deck, or what is this? 1264 to 1406. Mortar down defensively now for Bob. Royal Giant to the right-hand lane. If you haven't yet, guys, hit subscribe to this channel. Dark Prince to the right-hand lane. Does not connect. Barbarians holding high on the left-hand side, but that's a pretty healthy P.E.K.K.A with a second P.E.K.K.A behind it. NATO does not take off the bomber. This is a lot of trouble for Bob here. NATO not in cycle. Mortar gets down high, but you have a balloon, a graveyard. Oh, boy. And just barely NATOs it away, but then what do you do about the graveyard? Nothing. GG, well played. Dom takes the 0 off the losers column for Bob and hands him his first match loss of the tournament. 5-1 is Bob's record, with his only match remaining being the one against Ruben. And, of course, they'll be the only two. If Bob wins that, they'll both be at 6-1, and then Bob would be number 1. But Ruben will have a pretty good shot there at defending that position. Oh, no, let's stay. Yeah, here we go. Matchup. Not much in the way of data here, because who plays this deck that Bob's playing? Nobody. Coach Oak asking, what is this? Coach Oak, I think you know what this is. This is the Bren Chong Cup 2. The $40,000 Clash Royale Open. Yeah, it's kind of fun that these are keying out, isn't it? Actually, it makes the sunglasses look even more fly, right? These are like magical sunglasses that are keying out. Look at that. It's actually kind of fun. Let me go ahead and I'll turn off the... I'll turn off my green screen here for a second so you can actually see the true freshness. Boom. Yeah, see these yellows? They're pretty fire. But we'll leave them on with the key. I think it's actually kind of fun that way. A little different look here. Release Clash Royale on Xbox. Why? Oh, this weird BO3. Got it, Coach Oak. I was like, what? I was like, I think you know what's going on here. What else do you know about Tunisia, about the fact that we make good chessboards? H, that's about it. That's pretty much all I know about Tunisia. Hey, Soking is back. Nikola versus Yusuf will be off-stream, for those of you following those two players. That will be taking place off-stream here. Right now, our Soking is back. His technical issues taken care of. So Soking Bale up now. You've seen that RG Mortar deck on top 200 ladder. Interesting. Balloon for Bale. RGGS for Soking. What kind of screen is that behind you? Kelby, that's the green screen. That's the, it allows you to, it's the technique that allows you to remove your background and place something else in it. So here comes the Royal Giant behind, and Bale has to wait on his defense here because of that giant skeleton bomb. And because of that, he's going to give up a lot of damage here. 2 shots in, 20-26 remaining. And good zappies from Soking. Can they get to the balloon in time? I don't know if there'll be enough to stop it. That balloon going to get a drop. There you go, 1 drop in. And just like that, Bale completely in command. Zigzag saying, Rich, what do you think is the tallest card in the game? Good question. I think the Electro Giant is the tallest card in the game. AKA the Weatherman screen. Good point. Giant Skeleton to the right-hand lane. In reply here from Soking. If you were watching yesterday, AC and I were talking about how much we enjoy Soking and how he's been one of our favorite players to watch throughout our both of our tenures in Clash Royale. Overall, a really passionate player in whatever he does. The fist pumps, the arm slaps, whatever it might be. He's had a lot of big-time moments, of course, and his favorite moment in his career was when he qualified for CCGS back in 2017. Stands out to him as a highlight. Of course, that stands out to him as a highlight. It says a lot about how much that CCGS moment meant when he also won Clash Royale League Europe, the EU region with Team Queso. And that's game number 1 for Bale in this matchup. When not playing Clash Royale, Soking plays a lot of League of Legends Wild Rift, the new mobile version of League of Legends. He's actually thinking about doing some competition in Wild Rift in the future, which is pretty cool. Taking a look at the matchup here. Some medium sample size and pretty even matchup, a slight advantage maybe to Soking here. But those zappies just didn't do what they needed to do. Rich, any thoughts on Doug Stanhope? I listed him CR as my number 1 of all time. I am from a generation of stand-up comedians who started because of Stanhope. Stanhope released a special in 07 called No Refunds on Showtime. And in 06, 07, I was teaching the LSAT and I was commuting. The summer of 07, I was commuting between LA and Santa Barbara like 2.5 hours, or an hour and a half, 2 hours each way, 3 days a week to teach the LSAT. And I had Sirius XM radio. I kept on hearing comics like Burr and at the time CK and Rogan, all these guys who hadn't really broken. They weren't big names for stand-up yet. And I kept on hearing this one guy with this gravelly voice with these brilliant ideas. And then in I think the fall of 2007, Doug Stanhope's No Refunds came out on Showtime, and it blew me away. And I immediately started writing stand-up. And in March of 08, I did my first set at Laughs Comedy Cafe in Tucson while on a business trip. But Stanhope's one of my all-time favorites. I own pretty much all of his discography. Met him many times. Have some funny Stanhope stories. And he is as nice as you would imagine. And yes, he's all-time favorite. Didn't you do live on Twitch? I'm not doing Twitch anymore because I was using Restream to go both on Twitch and YouTube. And it was causing some glitching. So we're going to be just on YouTube for now. Graveyard into the right-hand side. So pretty classic take on Graveyard here from Soking. Bale going with the more popular current Mortar GY. Have I ever performed for a celeb? If so, who? I wouldn't even know where to start on that because I played at the Comedy Store many, many nights. Cannon cart to the left-hand side. Does connect. Delivery out too late. That's going to be a lot of damage here for Bale. And now dual lane pressure for Bale, Soking in a whole bunch of trouble. What about Seinfeld? Never met him. Hey, Latak, how are you, bud? We'll be seeing Latak on the 18th when we kick off the North American region right here on youtube.com/RichSlaton. Graveyard in. Great question. Should they add traps to Clash Royale? No, I don't believe so. Poison Blick working defensively against the Graveyard. Bale adding to his lead here. 13.44 on the left-hand side. Hey, Mikey with $4 Canadian. Thank you very much for the support. As always, really do appreciate it, bud. How you doing, DC the Boss? Good to see you there as well. NATO pulls the cannon car all the way out of range. But the elixir advantage gives Bale more opportunity to really just put the pressure on that left-hand side. Clarence, I know what you mean. If you don't know, then you don't know. If you do know, you know what it means. Cannon cart to the right-hand lane, working against Graveyard. Sudden death overtime and trying to find a way to put some real pressure on his Soking, but just a hard, weird matchup. And that the cannon cart mortar combination gives you so much trouble to deal with. I'm wondering if he should have just eaten those night shots on the right-hand side. Has to deal with this cannon cart now, and he has to use the bomb tower, which will work. But now cannon cart not able to help on that Graveyard defense. I mean, now the bomb tower, not the cannon cart. There we go. Final minute, triple elixir on its way. 775 on Soking's left-hand tower. Just can't seem to find a way to turn defense into offense. Has not had any real significant counter pushes. Look at this, no tank for this Graveyard. Just a naked Graveyard on the right-hand side. Can't do much with that. Cannon cart will defend fairly easily. Has to cycle back around to another Graveyard here to have any advantage in this one. And now he might have that opportunity, though. Final 30 seconds, triple elixir here. Bar Barrel does sneak on through, but no tanking it across the bridge. Bale doing a good job here of winning the bridge fights. And that's been the story of this matchup. Bale has dominated at the bridge. Soking has had no chances to create any legitimate counter pushes. And that's going to be a GG well played. Clean 2-0 win here for Bale. Hey, Chandler Randall, enjoying the coverage and insight. Chandler, thank you very much for that $10 super chat, man. Really do appreciate that. And I promise you right now that that money will go either to burritos or to some Sunnies. That's what I promise you right now. So thank you very much for the support. Really do appreciate that. Did you ever meet Rogan at the store? Yeah, tons of times. I parked cars at the Comedy Store for years. And Rogan's car collection is choice. And part of working at the Comedy Store was everyone else's car, every other performer's car, like you actually put where it's supposed to go. Rogan's car, you have to like clear a space for it. You don't touch Rogan's cars. But he's really cool about it and takes care of the Comedy Store staff there very, very well. But yeah, I was a door guy at the Comedy Store for many years. Worked through their development system. You know, performed there. I have no idea how many times. I couldn't even keep track. And learned a lot being part of that family for many years. But yeah, a lot of yeah, I know Rogan. No, I don't know him well, but spent a lot of nights hanging out in the parking lot talking with him and many other comics. Here we go. Take a look at the stats. 6-0 for Ruben, so waiting for that matchup with Bobtherock. Bale at 3-3, Dom at 3-3. So here's the crazy part, right? Look at this. Yusuf, Nikola, and Soking still not technically out. Any one of those, if they go on a run, could potentially pass Bale or Dom. That'd be nutty. As a former resident of SA, I ain't mad at you. Eat one for me. Boom. Gotcha. Oh, San Antonio, I believe is what you mean, right? Is that what you mean when you say SA? Like I said, this man's career is inspiring. Oh, me? Whatever. I've done some things. I've met some people. Someone I went to college with works there now open for Joe Rogan. Kim doesn't. I mean, Kim doesn't work at the Comedy Store. She's just part of the family there. She's like an unpaid regular like me. She's in the development system the same as I am. But yeah, Kim opened for Rogan. What, in Florida? Is that right? I know Kim very well. Very, very funny. Kim Kong. I think the Yeti should be out of the Clash Royale. I don't know what that would mean. Like, I don't know what that would do. We already have a tiny Yeti. That's the Ice Golem. Oh yeah, guys. Hey, if you haven't yet, like the channel. I know a lot of you. There's much more of you here than there are likes. If you're hanging out, you probably like this at least to some degree. So go ahead and give this a like. Subscribe to the channel. All that stuff. Could you speak on the significance of the Comedy Store? It's comedy mecca. Sunset Boulevard. Every comic that you love has played there at least once in their life. Most of them are regulars there. The Comedy Store is where essentially the home and the heart of American stand-up comedy. Dark Prince in the left-hand lane. 1272 remaining on Soking's left-hand side. And as a reminder, Nikola and Yusuf are off stream. Giant Skeleton, Minor Loon for Saab, Soking with the Royal Hogs. And Hunter works at the bridge on the Baby Dragon. Minor goes into the front inside tower. And if that, that's a smart Giant Skeleton from Saab, because that keeps the Dark Prince from escaping to that left-hand tower. He's happy to take the damage he took on the right-hand side from the Royal Hogs because with the Ice Wizard support. Smart GS, indeed. Balloon at the bridge. Minor goes to the front here. Sticks those skeletons right there for tower damage with the fireball. Hunter would stop, but not the death damage. So Saab just continuing to put pressure on that left-hand tower. What about converting the Rage spell to a Rage Spirit? Maybe. I don't know, we have lots of spirits. I think Rage spell is fine. I don't think that everything needs to be viable. I've talked about that before. Of course, we'll see how much the meta changes competitively speaking, in particular as duels become more popular, as they are part of CRL and as they get rolled out to be more available to the average player, which I'm very excited about, outside of just being inside of Clan Wars. 396 left-hand lane to 1572. 90 seconds left here in sudden death overtime. EQ value here for Soking, but what's that worth right now? Balloon gets picked up by the Goblin Cage. Minor will go into the back of the tower. Fireball to support. And that's going to be 32 HP. NATO will be enough. GG, well played. Saab takes game number 1. CRCR, Rich, will you ever do comedy again? You don't have much content out there and treat to see more. I have a lot of content, but it's not up right now. I took a lot of stuff down, actually, when I started the CRL job. Just from a family-friendly perspective, because my comedy was never, never that family-friendly. Guys, if you're a fan of the stuff that I do and you want to hear more of it, one thing I did, let me go ahead and find this, actually. I did a podcast with my friend John Shefsky. We did 85 episodes of a show called Crime with 3 Eyes. That's, essentially, what's the best way to describe it? Best way to describe that would be like Mystery Science Theater for true crime stories. So here's the link to that YouTube page. It's also available if you look up Crime with 3 Eyes on like whatever your podcast app is, then you can find it there. Oh, let's go jumping right into our next game. But a lot of your favorite comedians were on there. Don't look at the Fantasy House ones, or do if you want to. That's Shefsky, my friend, kept on going. But if you go back to the beginning of this and look at the ones that are just named like crime episodes, Not Fantasy House. Let's go to we should have made playlists out of this, actually. That's hilarious. I'll go ahead and rearrange this YouTube page at some point. But sort by. I'm going to change sort by to date added oldest. Yeah, they're all up there. So there's a whole bunch of episodes of this show, Crime. Some of your favorite comics were on there. Jeremiah Watkins, Tony Hinchcliffe, Brian Moses. Let's see, if you're a bit fan of the Comedy Store people, Pat Reagan and Joel from Hinchcliffe's podcast as well. Who else was on there? Jeremiah was a regular on that. Ian Edwards, Jen Murphy, Jessica Michelle Singleton. Louis J. Gomez was on there. Kurt Metzger. Kim Congdon was actually on one of our episodes as well. Sam Tripoli, Eric Griffin, Steve Renazizi, Teeb, Andy Haynes. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of different comics on there. If you go back and look at those older episodes, 85 episodes of like a riffing, making fun of true crime stories podcast with a lot of your favorites from the Comedy Store. So yeah, those were each about an hour long. So there's 85 hours of not stand-up content, but comedy content starring myself and some of my favorites. We don't do the podcast anymore because I'm too busy, but yeah, there's plenty of stuff there for you to enjoy. And you can get it on whatever your podcast app is, or you can watch it on YouTube. However you wish. Miner goes to the back. And yeah, you'll see on that channel there, guys, that there's a lot of stuff there that if it says like Fantasy House or whatever, organize that. When you go look at that, go look at it from oldest first, because the newer stuff is just my friend Shevsky doing his podcast that also goes to here. I need to go through and organize that page, actually, one of these days. Wall breakers connect on the left-hand side. Pretty much tied up right now between Saab and Soking. Mark Littlewood with the £5 super chat here. Thanks for all the great Clash casting. Clash casting has been first-class entertainment during lockdown. Oh, my pleasure, Mark. I hope that I can bring some joy and some fun for everybody here. Kevin Bale is a Spaniard. 725 on the left-hand side. Freeze does come in here for Soking. That NATO clears off a lot, but is it going to be enough? The Inferno Dragon gets pulled by the spear, or by the wall breakers. Sam just re-signed with SK. Yeah, Connor, I saw that. Very excited about SK Gaming staying in the Clash Royale world with Sam and Morton. Soking is trying to get these freezes to do something for him. Has not gotten much out of it yet. Gonna have to drop something here to defend against those wall breakers. NATO comes out on defense 265 to 661. And Saab just sets up Inferno Tower high here. And the Ice Wiz Inferno drag and drop out of Soking. Now, what a weird, I guess that sequence was because, oh my gosh, could he steal? Could he steal? Could he steal? 29 HP! Oh no! Saab takes the win here, and with that makes him 3-3. He's right in the mix now with Bale and Dom, as Soking takes his 5th match loss of the tournament. Ooh boy, 29 HP gets Saab one step closer. What a finish. What a finish that one. What an amazing finish that one was. Wow. Oh, wow. Very, very cool. Let's see. Guys, if those of you who want to check out that podcast, let me go ahead and find one of my all-time favorite episodes. I mean, the Louis J. Gomez one is actually really good. But where is Kyle Clark's episode? Did a good one making fun of Martin Scarelli when that happened. Wait, where'd the Kyle Clark episode go? Oh, there we go. Here is one of my all-time favorite episodes of that show with my friend Kyle Clark as our guest. You can go ahead and check that out if you want, if you're interested in it. Again, like, maybe I'll have to repurpose those at some point, but that's the jam right there. Man, Saab by a hair. And I hope they show us the standings. And by the way, if you want to follow the standings, go to AppGrade right now. You can follow up all the standings and stuff. Get all your information right there. And then, of course, that link that's in the chat gives you both the link to iOS and Android versions of the AppGrade app. Nikola and Yusuf are going to be off stream now. Or that already happened. Never mind. Okay, here we go. Here's the standings right now. Ruben currently at 6-0. Bob behind at 5-1. We'll see that as the last match of the day. Bale, Dom, and Saab all at 3-3. That's going to be fascinating. Let me go ahead and take a look at what the schedule is for the rest of it and see if any of those guys play each other, because that's kind of crazy. Yusuf and Dom up right now. Let me look at... So Yusuf and Dom... Where is that? Where is that on here? So we are in the final round of gameplay. Yusuf and Dom right now. Next up is Bale and Saab. So that's actually huge because Bale and Saab are tied 3-3. That's going to be a winner. You win, you in, you lose, you're out. I believe that's the case. Unless Dom loses here. If Dom loses here, then that opens up a lot of opportunities for both Nikola and the loser of Bale versus Saab. So a lot of things hang on this Yusuf versus Dom matchup. Yusuf is already out. Dom needs a win here if he's going to really guarantee himself a spot. If he doesn't win here, doesn't mean he's out, but it means he's in a lot of trouble. Sam re-signed with SK. Yep, saw that one, Connor. I already commented on it. Who is that guy who bought the Wu-Tang album? Yeah, Martin Scarelli? Yeah, the Pharma bro. We did a whole episode trashing him. Stand up as OG in my heart. Yeah, I get you. Make a separate channel, reposting or do more. I mean, I did 10 years of stand up. I have a whole album recorded. I don't know if I'm gonna release it because it's been so long now. I never released it on time, and then now I don't know. We'll see. Zigzag saying I look like OJ with the shades. Well, OJ is quite a good-looking dude, so thank you. Do appreciate that. Matt, you can watch the gameplay by you can remove chat from the screen. Matt Blanchard, you can remove chat from the screen. So just figure out how to do it. There's a button there that does it. And then you don't have that problem anymore. Bing! There you go. Guys, we're at 386 likes. We are 14 likes away from 400. Let's go ahead and hit that. If you haven't liked yet, go ahead and do it. Hunter to the left-hand side, E-Wiz in reply. Hog to the right-hand lane here for Yusuf. You have to imagine that Dom was ready for Hog, as Yusuf's played a ton of it. Mega Knight to the right-hand side for Dom. And going to put a lot onto this Hog Rider, and that's a good fireball out of Yusuf. Who's my favorite stand-up? Too many people to call. And we hit 406. Thanks, guys, for getting those likes in. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and maybe sub too, huh? How about that? 778 on the right-hand side. These Hogs getting in. Dominik had to be ready for Hog here against Yusuf. Of course, this is a pretty good counter push. Mega Knight with Inferno Dragon behind. Poison on the Hunter. Bar Barrel here. This is a really good counter push. Just has to stop this Hog. Can you stop this one Hog? Mega Knight comes in, and this might swing the opposite direction. Healthy Mega Knight down. Ram Rider behind. The Bomb Tower's going to have to come out to control here. Yusuf's going to have to fireball on defense, I believe. Snowball instead. Bandit does go down to the Hunter. Wow, great defense here by Yusuf. Hog Rider down opposite direction. Inferno Dragon not going to be enough. E-Wiz has to come out. Is there a snowball to stop this from connecting? No, there is not. 250 on the right-hand side. And that's a good... Oh, the Bomb Tower... the Bar Barrel does not predict the Bomb Tower. Ram Rider can't sneak through here, but this Bandit could be dangerous if she can escape. Can she escape? No. Good Hunter by Yusuf. Fireball down. This is Dominik's last push. Win here or it's GG. Snowball on defense. And that's going to be it. There's no way. Fireball in. There you go. Yusuf takes game number 1. Yusuf already eliminated, but Dominik fighting for a chance to be in that top 4. Yusuf not going to let him go easily. Oh, I guess we didn't go to the other screen there. There we go. Great play there. Great play there by Yusuf in that one. Really fun to watch. Just checking something out here real quick. This has been a fun one today, folks. A nice GG there. So after this one, again, let's take a look at this just to give you guys some more context here. Yusuf does not have to win this match. I mean, Dominik doesn't have to win this match to stay in, but losing throws his fate to the wind. Let's put it that way. So Yusuf has a chance to really make the rest of this match in a whole lot really dangerous here. Then Bale and Saab playing essentially the winner. I think the winner is guaranteed to qualify. The loser then is struggling there on that bottom end. A lot of that depends again on this Yusuf Dominik matchup. Then Ruben versus Bob to decide who will be number 1 in the group, and then Soking Nikola in the last match that doesn't really. Oh, Nikola and Youssef is off stream. I don't know if what's happening with Nikola and Soking. So I'll give you guys an idea on that one. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2 here between Dom and Yus. What does my wife do for a living? She works. Only Lord knows with the dope glasses. Thank you, sir. Do appreciate it. What's poppin', Luis? Yay. And Yusuf going Hog Princess Mini P.E.K.K.A. This is Yusuf's this is his go-to deck. We'll see if Dom's ready for it. About to put my sunnies on, and it's not sunny. Only Lord knows that that's the way you got to do it there, dude. Get it. Hog Rider to the left-hand lane. You is in response. So Giant Double Prince for Dom. Let's see if he doubles down behind this. No, he's not going to. Oh, he zaps it off. We'll zap it off to get that 1 shot from the Giant, maybe 2 shots here, I think. Is there a third? There is a third. All right, nice zap here from Dom. Greetings from Morocco. Thanks, Twisted Goblin. Never been. Hope to go sometime. One of my best friends, Rafi, his dad is Moroccan. Princess at the left-hand side of the bridge. Connects easily. Mega Minion in response. Classic Prince to the left-hand side. 1661. 90 seconds left in regulation time. I think that Prince still connects. Yeah. Yep, Yusuf eats a lot of damage there. Yusuf has not calculated well on these low HP troops for his tower. Has eaten a ton of unnecessary damage. And here's going to be some more. The Ice Golem comes out. Miner just keeps on chipping away. How many countries have I been to? I don't know. I've never done the math on that. USA, Mexico, Canada, Scotland, England, the Netherlands, France, Spain, Israel, Japan, China. Is that it? That can't be it. Is that it? That might be it. I'm trying to think where else I've been in Europe. That's a lot of downhill momentum on the left-hand side. Trying to stop it is Yusuf, but like I said, a lot of miscalculations early. A lot of miscalculations early. And that's going to be a rough one, I'll tell you. Oh, Italy. I've been to Italy. I knew I'd been somewhere else. All right. Here we go. Game number 3. Man, this is a big one for Dom. Win, you're in. Lose, and you are not in. You are not in for sure. You are on the bubble. And, of course, as you can see, Bale and Saab up next. The big one. Why not Nepal? I don't know. Just never been there. Why not anywhere, specifically? I've never been to Nepal, though. It's an interesting way of... What a fun way of asking that. Why not Nepal? I have no answer for you. Why not Nepal? It's never happened. I went to China and Japan as part of for Clash Royale, for CRL and for WCG. Europe. I've been a couple times to Europe, but you know, a lot of those countries I visited when I was living in Scotland, and then I've visited a couple times elsewise, and then Israel. Yeah, Mexico and Canada are right next door. So there you go. Zigzag. I like how you roasted everyone's political views in the stand-up. Thank you. That's part of why I like that bit, too. Much love from Qatar. Much love to Qatar. Yeah, let me look at the map here and see if there's some place I'm forgetting in terms of places that I've been in the world. You finally read my comment. Yeah, it just takes me a while. I'm not trying to ignore anyone specifically. Let's see. Any other countries that I can think of that I've been to that I didn't mention beforehand? Let's see. In Europe. No, I think that's it in Europe. Never been to... Yeah, never been to Norway, Sweden, Finland, although hopefully one of those pretty soon. Never been to Eastern Europe. That's probably on the list at some point. Never been to Germany or Belgium. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Europe. Yeah, I think we nailed it. I think we got all the countries I've been to. And Yusuf going right back to his standard deck. Where did you live in Scotland? I lived in Edinburgh for a year. I'd love to go to Brazil. Brazil would be awesome. Baby Dragon to the right-hand side. So Dom going what looks like it's going to be Electro Giant. We'll see if it's Graveyard, but it looks like Electro Giant. Who win, Ruben or Bale? Well, Ruben's won every game so far, so there you go. Ruben's undefeated, and the only person left for him to play is Bobtherock. So Ruben has a pretty good chance of going 7-0. We'll see if Bob can stop him. And no cage here for this hog. Doesn't matter. NATO pulls it over, but not enough. Does not take the shot here. Well defended by Dom. Minute 20 left in regulation time. Have I been to Zimbabwe? No, I've never been anywhere in the African continent. And it is Electro Giant. Dom sets up to the left-hand side. An immediate Hog Mini P.E.K.K.A to the right. And that's the right play here from Yusuf. Put that pressure on, force as much expenditure that direction as you possibly can. Don't let the stack come behind the Electro Giant. Lightning to clear things out for the Electro Giant. Nice slow work here. Those bats are all going to die real quick, but kind of needed to happen. 5 elixir on the board for Youssef, 4 on the board for Dom. And Dom sets up cage, maybe a little bit early on the right-hand side. So that hog could let that cage run down a bit before coming in. Maybe a half step early with that one was Youssef. Does he protect this princess? And he does not. Yusuf is good. He's just a little careless. And that's, I think, the big issue that Yusuf has to solve if he's going to have a longer, more success in competitive, is he's just, like I said, just a little bit careless. You've seen him let some damage go through that he shouldn't have. We've seen him not protect some pieces that maybe he could have. I think that's my big knock on Yusuf. Of course, he's certainly infinitely better than I am, being an 8K player, but that is the thing he has to work on going forward. There's not been that much Hog today, Andy. Just Yusuf is a Hog Princess player. This is his deck that he goes to. So right now, damage lead for Yusuf by a hair, but Dominik does have both lanes as options. Lightning Cycle not going to win the game for Dom, though. He really has to get on tower, probably more than Yusuf does. And the Hog should... Does the Hog push? No, does not push. Mini P.E.K.K.A, though, does take the cage off the board. NATO going to pull everything together here for the Ice Fist, but that Hog will connect on the left-hand side. And Yusuf now putting a lot of damage down on that left-hand lane. Huge lead now for Yusuf. 900 HP, going to be under 800 on the left-hand side with 35 seconds left. Dark Prince does not connect, and the Hog does not pull the Dark Prince. It pulls for a second, but the Dark Prince then retargets. 661 left-hand lane, and that Hog not going to touch. And look at that, 2 Electro Giants down on the right-hand side. Dom takes the win, puts himself at 4-3, and I believe that guarantees him a spot in the top 4. Very, very well played by Dom. Very well played indeed. I think that we're going to get some stats on that one in a minute. And no, we're not going to get stats on that. We're just going to continue moving on. So there you go. I believe that puts him through. Why doesn't Andrew do Clash commentating outside of CRL League? Does he have a day job commenting? I mean, I have a day job doing something else too. Day job you call it. I got it through Clash, but I'm a producer. Is my I'm a producer for a couple different gaming organizations, including Aftershock Media Group, founded by CWA and Powerbang. But yeah, no, Andrew Andrew does a bunch of stuff in movies. He has like a movie podcast and YouTube channel and Patreon, like based on movie commentary. He's big in this like movie trivia league that he's known for. That he was been doing it for a long time. He's also an actor. But yeah, no, I just I don't know. I double down on this. Andrew's doing his own thing. We'll be together for CRL. He might come on for one of these. We'll see what happens. So let's see. I don't know if they're going to bring us the standings here. I don't know what kind of information Revel's getting. You can go. I'll show you guys Revel's setup here. Revel's in the studio over at Team Queso, which is what's broadcasting this. And there you go. So there's the current standings. As again, Ruben and Bob will play to determine our number 1 player. So here, look, I believe Dom has now guaranteed himself a spot in. So now it comes down to Bale versus Saab. Bale versus Saab is a win you're in, lose you're out. This next matchup will determine who our top 4 are going to be. Will it be Bale in that top 4, or will it be Saab? We'll find out when these two guys go head-to-head. Because they will be the only, one of them will be 4-3, one will be 3-4, no one else can hit it. So that's an early playoff match. After that one, then we'll have Ruben versus Bob for our number 1 position. Zigzag, that's hilarious. Guys, hit that like button. We're at 429. That's right. Come on. Go ahead and jump on in there. Man, this is a good one. This is a best of 3 to move on in this tournament and have a shot at being... I just realized how low I am in this frame. I'm very low in this frame, aren't I? Can I adjust myself here a little bit? Let's go ahead and see if I can do a little adjustment on my camera here. Oh, no, I can't. To make myself bigger, I guess. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the action. Here we go. Best of 3 to decide who moves on in this $40,000 tournament. Winner goes on, loser goes home. Goodness, you talk super fast, try rapping. Some people say that I'm a rap god. Where can I see it in Spanish? Boom, right there. On Twitch. Wall breakers to the right-hand side here for Saab. Giant Skeleton, opposite direction here for Bale. Bale looking like he's going to go RGGS. Royal Giant Skeleton EQ. Minor wall breakers here for the Frenchman. So interesting thing here for Saab is that fireball. It feels like the primary target for that's going to be those zappies, but you always pretty much get 2 and leave 1 on the board. But those zappies, if you don't deal with them, end up being such a problem. So he kind of has to do the -1 trade by taking 2 out and leaving 1 on, unless Bale loads up zappies in 1 lane. A lot of damage on the left-hand side for the Frenchman. Rich, what is your favorite number and color? Are you trying to get all my bank passwords now, CRCR? Are you asking me what my mother's maiden name is now, and the name of my first pet? Who is my third grade teacher? What street did I grow up on? I feel like CRCR has been baiting me this whole time, and I wake up tomorrow and my accounts are empty. Good luck, have fun, says Hamid. Same to you, sir. 38 seconds left. EQ comes in for the spears. And this is actually an opportunity. Bomb tower does have to come out, but the giant skeleton not close enough to take the bomb tower off the board here. Wall breakers right-hand side do connect. And that's an easy one to ignore for Bale. Smart fireball there out of Saab. Does take one shot, though. That's a great miner out of Saab. What an excellent miner. I don't think he gets the damage from it that he wanted. I think this hunter does get some spray. There you go. That miner to prevent the fisherman from doing anything. Really sharp placement there. The open qualifier player currently in the lead here in game number 1. This RG doesn't get any shots, I believe. No, it gets one. 9:18 remaining. Hunter picks up the miner perfectly, but the wall breakers might sneak through here, and they do. Bale did his best with the EQ, couldn't stop it, and now he is one win away from being eliminated. And we're not doing post-game stats anymore. I have to switch to myself now. I don't know the answer to that question, Lil Nimbus, because I don't know who the first guy is. Kakar Karabji. What's up, man? How are you? My favorite childhood band? Well, childhood is very different than, like, when I was a teenager. So that's a weird way to frame it. Listen to Eminem's new album? No, I have not. I have not. I haven't listened to much new music in the last few months. I've been way too busy trying to make this life happen. You know what I mean? Hey, guys, we are at 445 likes. That's pretty cool. I wonder if we can hit, do you think we can hit 500 before we're done today? Do you think we can hit 500 likes before we're done with today's broadcast? Let's find out. First, let's take a look at these matchup pieces of information. Mini Bale running Royal Giant, Giant Skeleton, Earthquake on the left-hand side, and Saab with the minor wall breakers. Here in the Bren Chong Cup 2, European Region Group C. How's that for announcer voice for you guys, huh? The smooth, dulcet tones of Rich Slaton. Throwing a little something on there for you. All right. We should be in our... Oh, we're just going right to the next matchup. Okay, this ordering is kind of strange, but now I'm getting that they've changed the ordering a bit. And that's the miner to support the one bat on the right-hand side. Hunter comes out. Minor wall breakers again for Saab. We'll see if that's the same story. Bale not going that way. Looking like balloon for Bale. Giant skeleton to the right-hand lane. You think the dislikes went up? Well, that's rude. Dislikers. Guys, if you're watching this, the least you can do is not dislike. If you turn in and you're like, ugh, and then you dislike before you leave, I actually support that. Like, if you just don't like this and you want to dislike it, I have no problem with that. But if you're actually like hanging out here watching this and you throw a dislike, that's just rude. You're a rude person. Did I ask to bring in more dislikes from that? Probably. That's a solid miner here. It doesn't... Oh, the wall breaker does connect here. Saab's been playing these minor wall breakers pretty well so far. Spears to protect the tower on the right-hand side. Why doesn't Michifu play Ice Bow anymore? Because it's not that viable. Hope your favorite color and number might make me rich. Well, my favorite color is purple, so there you go. I only dislike when a commentator talks with their mouth full. That's hilarious. Miner goes into the outside here for Bale. Balloon should be fairly well handled. I mean, Bale, Sob running the Hunter version here makes this really, really hard. Hunter Bomb Tower Spears. Now, to be fair, he did lose to Balloon earlier with the same matchup after missing a Fireball. So curious to see if he can not make that same mistake here again. Currently leading. And Miner goes to the back. Spears in defense. Did those bats just buy the Balloon a trip to the... Oh, man, force the Fireball out. Those bats made the Fireball come out there. If it didn't come down, Sob would have lost. And Sob's in a lot of trouble here again. Goes high with the Bomb Tower. Needs to get a Hunter down for the Balloon. Can't do it. Calls the GG. We're going to game number 3. BO1 to decide whether you stay in a $40,000 tournament or whether you end up out with nothing to show for it but a few games played on a live stream. Ooh, boy. Scrooty Tootie with the $5 Canadian. Dude, thank you very much, Scrooty Tootie. I do appreciate it. Purple is the kingly color. Black and purple are like the two top colors, right? They're the two that I love the most, that I wear the most, etc., etc. So on and so on. But yeah, black and purple, that's the jam. I have some purple sunnies somewhere, but the lenses are all scratched up. I have to get them replaced. But I will get those replaced. Ooh, guys, we're 12 likes away from 500. That's pretty fire. I can dig that. I bet it all on purple on the roulette table. I like that one. I like that one for sure. They should have Barbarian King Archer Queen, but you can only play those cards once in a game. They've experimented with heroes, but I just don't think it works in the game. What deck am I running? Minor Wall Breakers. Lose the glasses. No. How about that? By the way, if you guys haven't yet, that's been coming up here and there, but there's code RICH in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Use that for all the stuff, all the Supercell games, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars. Anywhere where there is a creator code, use that. Support me. Do appreciate that. So here we go. This is it. Best of 1. Winner moves on, has a chance at that $40,000 prize pool. Loser played a lot of Clash Royale. And that's about it. And it feels like this one is probably bigger for Bale. Because, this is one of those ones where I kind of expected to qualify here. Not qualifying here would be kind of brutal. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Can Sob, the Frenchman who listens to his native language hip-hop, to relax? Can we get, 500 likes. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that. Whether you've just been watching, that's awesome. If you've been if you subbed to the channel, super cool. If you liked this, thank you so much. Those of you who donated, definitely super, super much love to you. Do appreciate the support top to bottom. Here we go. In that best of 1 situation, Sob again goes Minor Wall Breakers, and Bale with the 3-3 split on the 6-man. Hey, Razor with the $20 super chat. Thanks for hosting these for us. Dude, thank you so much. That really means a lot. You guys, your support is so, so cool. And it's so cool that we have a really positive community here. There are detractors who come in every once in a while because they don't know us. But those of you who hang out and are really a part of this, I really do appreciate just how positive and cool you guys are. So thank you, Razor. That's just one more example of how cool you guys can be. And look at that, Bale. Bale just destroys that left-hand tower, and that's a hard place to fight from behind. Bale playing Minor Wall Breakers, Cannon Cart, Royal Recruits. What a crazy, I guess Royal Recruits in for the Mega Knight. What a crazy version of minor wall breakers here. Wall breakers to the right-hand lane, cannon cart to the left. Guys, I'll look at more questions after this game, but since this game is a best of one to see who stays, who goes, I'm going to be focused, dialed in on this game here for a minute. Wall breakers to the right-hand side do not connect. Healthy Valkyrie on the left-hand side for Saab. Puts the Spear Goblins behind. Easy money for those logs. And Saab just gets the call wrong there. That left-hand tower basically done. If Saab can survive on that, it would be a big shocker. And sticking the cannon cart deep in enemy territory, but what's that going to do for you here? And Bale just gets one Spear Goblin and the tower at that fireball. All sorts of trouble here for the Frenchman. Bale looking like he's going to qualify the hard way. .15 left. Wall breakers can't connect. Saab got ever so close. But Bale gets it done, and he will be moving on in the top 4. Ruben, Bobtherock, Dom, and Bale, your qualifiers from Group C for the European region. Very, very well played. Man, I keep forgetting that they changed the order here. Hey, Raf, thank you very much for the love. I do appreciate that. Really do appreciate that a ton. Very, very cool. Why didn't the dev team killed Classic Control, i.e. P.E.K.K.A. Bowler Huts? I don't think they killed P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. got way too strong for a minute. I think it's that the cards that they developed just make it so P.E.K.K.A. isn't as good in the meta overall. I think that you'll see more P.E.K.K.A. when we see dual mode become more popular, because you have to, it's not going to be just like more swarmy type troops, but P.E.K.K.A. is just not good as good in a swarm meta. But P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam is still a thing, and I think you'll see more of that in the overall in dual mode. Bowler, I don't think Bowler wasn't really good until now, to be honest. I don't think Bowler was ever really a great control method, and I think spawners are bad for the game. So I think Goblin Hut's bad for the game. I think Barb Hut is bad. I think those spawners in particular, Barb Hut and Goblin Hut, I think are actually bad for the game overall. So I have no problem seeing those ones go away. Let's see. So here we go. We have our top 4 guaranteed, and all we have left now is to decide whether or not Ruben or Bob will be the #1 qualifier. Will it be Ruben going undefeated, or went to the wrong screen, or will Bob be taking him down? We'll find out. Man, really rough one there for Saab at the last moment. Bale, though, great play. Hey, thanks, PE, for hanging out. You like the chat on Twitch better than you like it on YouTube? Yeah, I get that. I'm just not co-streaming on Twitch for technical reasons. So there you go. Thomas Rogers, agree to disagree. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I think that Barb Hut in particular is bad for the game, and when Barb Hut was strong, CRO was infinitely boring. Like, I really hated casting 1v1 when Barb Hut was strong. It just made me... the game was so slow and not technical with Barb Hut being strong. Goblin Hut less so, but Goblin Hut's kind of annoying. But Barb Hut in particular. Barb Hut being strong, I think, is bad for the game and bad for viewership in particular. It just slows the game down unnecessarily, which is why I'm glad they nerfed it. And I'm really happy. What glasses are those? Good question, dude. These are keying out, so you can't really see the proper color, but these are Gooders. My favorite sunglasses. GOODR. I think I have like 8 or 12 pairs. I've got more coming. Big fan. Here we go. Bob versus Ruben for the #1 spot in the tournament. Ruben undefeated 6-0 right now. Bob 5-1. But if Bob wins, they would both be 6-1, and Bob would hold the head-to-head advantage. So this is a first in the group matchup. Schlimmer, I think that they'll work on the overall rankings in a minute. So Ruben going Hog EQ. Bob with the Cannon Cart. Is this a clone deck here out of Bob? I put my hand up behind the glasses, it'll focus it better. Nice. Weird deck from Bob. It feels like Clone when you have Skeleton Barrel and Flying Machine together. There you go. Boom. Clone to the right. Of course, Ruben saw it coming. Does take one shot. Ruben's going to go ahead and eat these barb shots, giving up the lead, but saving the elixir advantage. What about Furnace? I don't hate Furnace, but I don't love Furnace. But Furnace doesn't clog up the lane the same way that... Like, Barb Hut is the biggest offender. Barb Hut just slows the game down tremendously and adds nothing interesting to the game. Goblin Hut is just kind of annoying, but Furnace doesn't slow the game down the same way. It just creates annoying pressure. It's just frustrating to play against sometimes. But I think that Barb Hut in particular just makes the game real slow and grindy. And not in a way that's like fun from a control standpoint. Like I thought Minor Control is, I think Minor Control is a great archetype. But anything with Barb Hut is the IMO. Here we go, 1873 to the right-hand side. EQ to work on the cannon cart and tower. Ruben with the lead for the moment. And let's see a clone come in here. There we go, because the bomb tower not going to pick that up. Law going to have to come out to work on those skeletons. And Bobtherock does have a bit of an elixir advantage here. Hog does not connect. EQ keeps the lead right now for Ruben. Should go to another bomb tower here in a minute. Skeletons high to pull, and now bomb tower in the middle. Good sequencing there by Ruben. And that's a good hunter. Oh, but it turns the wrong direction. And that's going to be a lot from the flying machines on the left. Just like that, the lead gets stolen here by Bob. 1362 to 1384. Hog to the right-hand side, and those barbs are there every time. And Ruben has no way to deal with the barbarians on the offensive side of the board. Of course, the bomb tower totally ruins them on defense, but he has to figure out a way to outcycle them offensively because he's not going to beat them offensively. Has to go... Oh, those flying machines. Yeah, this is just a brutal matchup. Brutal matchup here. And Bobtherock takes game number 1. GG, well played. Tell me what happened to Buferet. Buferet got a really, really great job offer that he couldn't really turn down and took it. There you go. That's what happened to Boof. And one more time before that chat disappears, Razor for your $20 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Just wanted to say that one more time before it disappears from the chat on top. Very, very cool. And I really do appreciate all the support that any of you guys give, whether it's just by watching, whether it's by liking, subscribing, donating, whatever it is. All of you guys are really cool. Here we go. And yeah, that's not a lot of matchup data here, but that's a brutal one. Just because the barbs make it so hard for Ruben. Like, how do you get past those? Max Holloway with an unreal performance. Oh, did that fight already finish? Oh yeah, because it started at 2 o'clock Central and it's 5 o'clock now. That was on ABC, right? The first one on ABC. That's pretty cool. Oh, those glasses look good, guys. I'll give you a look at how the glasses actually look. Let me pull my filters up here. Let me turn off the green screen because these. There you go. Here's the look. Here's the actual look on these glasses. They're called Gooders, G-O-O-D-R. But these are the Waka Waka Wakas, is what these ones are called. Where's the box for these? Boom. The Waka. Come on. There we go. The Waka Waka Wakas. That's what these bad boys are. Sunny game on. Fleek. Let's go. Someone has been in the stream long enough to know this is a family-friendly stream. So, cool. You missed the fight? Yeah, fights are done. Max put on a performance. Man, I'm sad I missed that one. How was the Condit, was it, who was it? Who did Condit fight today? Are the lenses good? I like them. So Ruben going hog EQ again. Cycles the log to the right-hand side. Rick, LOL. Matt Brown. Yeah, the Condit Matt Brown. Was it a good fight? Both those guys are, I'm big fans of both Condit and Matt Brown for a long time. Nice hog connection on the right-hand side, 1862. Flog, you know, I'm not sponsored by them. They send me sunglasses just because they know I'm a big fan, and I'm friendly with the company. But no, they're not a sponsor. They don't pay me for this. I just have loved the sunglasses for years, and I like to wear them on stream. And people ask me about them, so if they ask me about them, I'll show the sunglasses off. But yeah, they do hook me up on occasion with a couple pairs when like cool editions come out. I have some really cool ones coming that I'm really excited about. But no, they're not a paid sponsor. Just a friend of the channel, I guess. And if I'm gonna wear the sunglasses and you guys ask about them, I'll tell you what they are. You know. Weird hog cycle deck here for Ruben. And Goblin Giant Minor Night Witch for Bob. Yeah, Thomas, I like Minor Control, and I would love to see Minor Control come back, and I think that B-Rad had a point that maybe the better thing would be to nerf the HP of the Minor and leave the damage up so that Minor Control is an archetype. But I do think that I don't know, the game, that all the decks that Minor goes in from its tanking perspective, I think are more fun, though. They create a lot of interesting stuff. I wouldn't mind seeing Minor Control back, but a lot of the other control stuff. Oh yeah, and I get the bag. Yeah, I have the bag in the box for all, for sure. Solid zap in there from Bob. Can he make enough room here? Good hog from Ruben. Baby Dragon does get on tower from Bob, but the Hog Rider does connect the opposite direction. So as we go into sudden death overtime, Ruben does still have the lead, 1262 to the 1534, but this is a super, super tight one. Niner to the back, Hunter, Magic Arch are the Musket, nice fireball zap on the Muskie out of Bob, and a good control from Ruben on the Knight. Musketeer down low, final 90 seconds on its way. Electro Spirit to clear out those bats. And that's a great Knight, a great early Knight out of Ruben. Needs to control high. Fireball zap every single time out of Bob. Bob is just making sure that Musketeer does not stay on board, and now does have the lead, 8-16 to 11-18. Real hard right now for Ruben to get any significant damage here. Bob is just pouring on the block, the DPS, and that's a good high bomb tower to deal with the Baby Dragon. And I don't know if Ruben has an option here, but he keeps on putting the Musketeer right in perfect fireball zap position. I know he wants the Musketeer to support that same side, but maybe he needs to start keeping that Musketeer away from his tower so that Fireball Zap isn't an option. Right there, this basically feels like it. He has to catch this Miner, has to stop this Goblin. Yeah, I can't do it. That's going to be a GG well played. Bob wins the final match for the two of them and takes the first place position in this group. It looked like Ruben was going to run away with a 7-0. Bob takes the 2-0 win. They both end up at 6-1, but because of the head-to-head thing, that should be. I think that we're going to see. I think that's what we're seeing Revel describe. I think that's what we're going to see Revel describe over here. I'm trying to figure out like what he's actually saying, but he was just doing like he was just putting his hands like this. And going this way. So I think that means that Bob finishes top of the group, as far as I understand the rules here. Would I consider Bob the best player in the world now? No, absolutely not. You don't beat somebody once in a BO3 and now you're the best player in the world. So there we go. Yeah, very well played by Bob. Good matchups for Bob, too. That first matchup for Bob, I mean, there was no way those hogs were getting through. But very nice. Very well played by Bob. Hey, 6-1 in this thing is no joke. Bob and Ruben both going through to the next round, and Bob and Ruben both going through the next round with a really, really good record as well. A lot of people talking about nerfs here. Here's the interesting thing about nerfs, right? And balance changes in this game are so hard because people spend so much time trying to get a card to be viable, leveling up a card. Nerfs are so demoralizing for people sometimes. And my glasses look so shiny with the green screen. I guess we're at the end here. Let's switch over off of the yellows, off the Waka Wakas, onto the professional respawners. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, here's the fire. Professional respawners. Is Morton in the next group? No, Morton is in Group A, and he already qualified. So there you go. Morton already qualified in Group A. So we still have one match left. It's not relevant to the standings. But I guess we'll go ahead and throw it on here. We can just chill and talk as Soking and Nikola play it out. Hey, Bran, thanks for hanging out, man. Hope you have a good one for the rest of the day. See you guys back here tomorrow. Max, do you have any advice on how to win this game? How to win a game? Play better than your opponent. There you go. Do I play PUBG? I play a little PUBG mode. Well, not a ton. But I've been working on PMGC, so I've been following PMGC pretty heavily because I've been working on it. CR, behave yourself. Someone say Hog is OP. Royal Hog is pretty much perfectly balanced right now. Our Hog Rider is pretty much perfectly balanced. Hog, I don't think Hog doesn't need a nerf or a buff. I've been talking way too long. Hog Rider is pretty much perfectly balanced right now. A nerf would kill it, and a buff would make it OP. Is Giant Graveyard considered meta? Bowler Graveyard's more meta right now than Giant Graveyard. But it's moderately meta right now. I'm not super meta, though. EQ is a little bit broken. Yeah, EQ is kind of a problem right now. It's a little bit too strong. Log to the right-hand side. So we already saw this minor recruits wall breakers cannon cart deck earlier. Burf enough, if new vernacular. Yeah, that's what it is now. We're not banning CR, but we are going to put him on timeout. We are going to put him on timeout. Behave yourself, CR. Fireball to the right-hand side. Yeah, I'm like lounging now. Now that we're through all the big stuff, it's the final match of the day. I'm taking it easy. EQ haters. Here's the other thing too: is people will say, like, people will defend to the death the card that they rely on. Right? Someone earlier was talking about, the guy earlier was like talking about defending Barb Hut. My guess is that Barb Hut is what you got your personal best with. I could be wrong. The people will defend the card that does the thing. CR is not banned. I unbanned him. He's just timed out. But keep it family friendly, guys. That's the rule here on the channel. When I don't answer a question 15 times in a row and then tell you to behave yourself and then you don't. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Thomas Rogers. Appreciate you talking about the control. Been playing since beta. They've nerfed all my favorite cards to play. It feels like they just want these quick spammy decks. High school to be viable. The game's more fun when it's quick. For most people. and it's better to watch when it's fast. There are some control decks that I think are cool, but I think the control decks that are faster, like P.E.K.K.A. control. Barb Hut was your favorite archetype? I just don't think I think Barb Hut shouldn't have been created. I don't think Barb Hut belongs in the game. That's my feel on Barb Hut. I think it shouldn't be viable and shouldn't be in the game. It's such an uninteresting card. Again, minor P.E.K.K.A. control, all about it. Right? That's cool. Because there's actually gameplay there. Barb Hut is stick a Barb Hut down, spam stuff behind King Tower, and just grind the game to an absolute halt. That's my view on Barb Hut. 2.6 motorcycle shows how broken EQ is, though. Yeah, I mean, EQ is probably a little bit too strong now. Am I going to Dubai to cast PUBG? No, I don't cast PUBG. I'm totally like I'm like hanging out down here. I'm like, I don't cast. This is what we get at the end of the game. It's the last game. I don't cast PUBG. I've been working on just as I switch over to the post game view. Should I adjust the camera now that we're down here for the end? Maybe I'll pull the camera up a little bit now that I'm kind of hanging out and relaxing here for the last couple games, or for the last best of 3 here. No, but I'm working on PMGC as I'm producing some of their. With AMG, we're producing some of their content. So there you go. I'm a P.E.K.K.A. player. P.E.K.K.A.'s so bad right now. Yeah, P.E.K.K.A.'s bad right now because the game has so many swarm troops, so many like multi-spawning troops, right? Whether it be Royal Recruits, Barbs, etc., are out there. Did I lose to Barb Hut before this? No, I'll tell you, like I've said this before, while casting CRL, I've cast more Clash Royale, I think, than pretty much anybody. Between CRL and then all these kind of tournaments, I'm certainly up there with most games, most competitive games cast. I am way up on that list, especially most competitive games cast at the highest level with the top players, right? I have cast so much Clash Royale. And when Barb Hut was strong and super meta, the games were boring to watch and boring to cast. Barb Hut versus Barb Hut matches were ridiculous. Max Rabbit, do you have any advice on how to win a game? Yes, I said it before, be better than your opponent. Play better than they do. There you go. Hey, Ugarte, good to see you. Just the game, it got to the point where, like, Andrew and I would both be like, oh god, Barb Hut versus Barb Hut again. Just such not fun to watch, not fun to cast. There was never a period in this game, from a caster perspective, that was less fun to cast than Barb Hut meta. That's my feeling of it. I don't think Balloon will get a nerf. I think Balloons in him is fine. Maybe it's a little bit strong, but not strong enough to deserve like a big nerf. Hey, Rich, is there a Clash Royale match if you're talking about chat stream? Yeah, maybe. But just so you know, Field 419, we're already done. Like, this is the last match of the day, and both these guys are already eliminated. So that's why we're kind of taking this one more chill. I was casting more aggressively during the last 2 matches that still were relevant. But this one isn't. This one is nice that these 2 guys are playing, but they're both eliminated, so we're kind of just chilling this last game. But also, when we're doing these streams on my channel, a little more chill than CRL in general. In CRL, I don't talk to chat, I just cast, right? So there you go. How do you feel about the balloon death damage? It's what makes balloon viable. Without death damage, balloon is not a viable archetype. That's how I feel about it. They'd have to significantly buff balloon in some other capacity. Balloon. Here's why balloon death damage is important. Is balloon death damage makes it so that balloon's negative matchups are not like 100-0, right? Hey, thanks, Thomas. I hope to see you again soon. If balloon didn't have death damage, there'd be a bunch of essentially 100-0 matchups, a bunch more. Now, maybe nerfing the actual connection damage might be more appropriate if you're to nerf something. But if you take away balloon death damage, it's a dead card, in my opinion. It would only win matchups where it was already where the matchup was already super in its favor. Death damage is what makes close matchups viable for balloon players. Balloon going to try to sneak on through here. And the E-Wiz does not stop it. Fireball comes in. And the good game being called by Nick, who's so low on Elixir. Miner in, Balloon in. Fireball holds things off. You got a Royal Giant now. There you go. Royal Giant in, Ice Wiz to slow it down. Balloon in behind. 2:06 remaining. Royal Ghost trying to work at the front end. Fireball has to go to the Miner. Miner King Tower activation. But that's it. GG, well played. Soking wins the final match of the group. GG, well played. Soking with the big win. There you go. Nicely done. Okay, now I'm sitting back up. I should move my screen back down a little bit like it was. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. Very nice. Nicely played. Very well. Was CRCR timed out again? What did he get timed out for this time? What did CRCR get timed out for this time? Oh, yeah. CRCR, you're kind of playing with fire a little bit these days, so I don't know if I would have timed you out for that one necessarily, but I'm not against it either. Do as you... You're a little iffy. It's all good. It's against the rules to want a 1v1. Oh, yeah, I guess don't share your clan. But whatever. Let's take a look. What else we got going on? Anything important here? Mark Littlewood, thanks for hanging out. Soking is super fun to watch. You're absolutely right. What else? Anything else important here? That's about it. Kunal, good to see you here, buddy. He said he felt... Yeah, I saw what he said he felt like. It's not like... I would not have timed him out for that, but it's like... You know, you bring up any sort of political term at all, and it creates a bunch of fights in the chat, so we try to avoid that. So there you go. Should I have not done that one? Yeah, that one's 50-50. Timing him out for that one, not so much. You... Mr. Guy are banned forever. Scrooty Tootie, thank you very much. Can you show us the purple shades? I needed blue screen glasses ASAP. Purple ones are dope. I'm definitely going to get them. Well, these aren't, first of all, these are not blue screen glasses. These are all like sunglasses. The blue screens, here, I'll show you some of the blue screeners. Some of those ones. The purple ones are shades. I don't know where they are right now. They might actually be back in LA. But here are the blue blocker glasses, the blue screen glasses, right? Here's one pair. I have a black pair somewhere around here too. Yeah, there's the black pair's over here. Let me see the black pair real quick. Is it in here? Yeah, it's in here. Here's the blue pair. Here's the black pair. 1 second. I'll show you these guys. We're going to have the final standings here in just a moment. And as soon as they come on, I'll throw them on screen. Yeah, here's the blacks on the blue blockers. There you go. There you go. So I like them. They do look pretty nice, though, right? These make me feel better about if I have to wear glasses in the future, because currently my eyesight's fine. Even though my eyes look messed up all the time, my eyesight's actually pretty good. So here you go. Here is the final standings in this group, and as I said before, it is Bob the Rock taking the dub, taking the first place spot away from Ruben in the final match of the day. Ruben going to come in at second place, Bale in third, and then Dom. Dom started off in the top four, ends in the top four. Saab, Nikola, Soking, and Yusuf all out of the tournament, but those top four, Bob, Ruben, Bale, and Dom, will all move on to the European Regional Championship, which will be at the end of this month. And of course, we have 4 more players tomorrow who will qualify alongside the 12 that we've had thus far. Tomorrow, we have the final day of action in Group D, and that group is IMJP, St. Bellican, Javi Catorze, Buffmac, Matthew, Runbar, Hugo, and Omer. Lots of Germans in that group. And the current standings in that group, let me go ahead and get the current standings up for that Group D. Current standings in Group D, IMJP is at 3-1. Behind him, Javi Catorze at 3-1. Hugo's at 2-2, and Runebar's at 2-2 at 3rd and 4th place. Belly, Matthew, Buffmac, and Omer all at 1 and 2 in the bottom 4 right now. So it's anyone's tournament right now in Group D. That's going to be a pitched battle tomorrow to find out who the final 4 are in the EU region. And that'll be happening, of course, right here on this YouTube page. Guys, that's going to be it for the day. I do really appreciate you guys being here, being a part of this. If you haven't yet, of course, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, use code RICH, etc., and come back tomorrow for the final day of Group D. And then on the 18th, we start the North American region, which will be a whole lot of fun as well.
Is back.
Let me turn off that audio. That's it for me, guys. I will see you tomorrow right here on youtube.com/RichSlaton, the most fun place for Clash Royale esports.
In America and Europe, and also in 4 stages. The second will be the regional group stage. Starting on January 9, the 16 players from each region coming from the qualifiers will advance to the group stage, where they will test their potential against 16 players from the Clash Royale Elite. These 32 players from each region will be divided into 4 groups of 8, and in a round-robin format, they will fight to advance to Phase 3. The regional finals will take place from January 28 to 31, and will feature the 16 best classified from each continent. A single elimination bracket will determine the 3 representatives of each region. We will have a world final of the Bren Chong Cup for the first time, where it will be decided who is the best player on the planet. We will have live streamings in many languages: English, Chinese, Japanese, Portuguese, German. In short, that all of you will be able to follow the action. To follow all what happens in the competition, keep an eye on the Revel IMAR social networks and the Appgrade application. Thank Bren Chong for sponsoring this competition and making this event possible. Bren Chong Cup 2. Get ready for the show.